Yeah, we got the energy.
Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
Breaking news on this Hump Day Wednesday to start the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Kareem Hunt is once again a member of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah,
Christina Anderson and Mary Kay Cabot and now others all reporting.
He can make up to $4 million. The breakdown of the contract has been. Clearly, the fact that it was only $4 million makes you think that the other teams that either didn't offer him anything or
they didn't offer him $4 million.
Less than $4 million.
Yeah.
It makes sense for both sides. You know, when the injury first happened in Nick Chubb, I, like many others, was prisoner of the moment. I try to pride myself on not being that, but I clearly was when I was like, get Jonathan Taylor, that doesn't make sense for this team right now.
Financial sense.
It just, yes, obviously Jonathan Taylor's better, but it doesn't make financial sense, nor does it make up what makes sense, what you'd have to give up to get him.
Yeah, you'd have to give up talent to get him.
It depends on what it was. It's not a prisoner of the moment thing because, like I say, if Nick Chubb's career is over, which I hope it's not,
right,
you're still going to need a running back one. So you would have Jonathan Taylor. You would obviously have to pay him.
Right, but
it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
The blueprint for getting running backs is not in free agency. It's in the draft.
Right.
Cheaper,
exactly, and
younger.
I like bringing in Kareem. Listen, I was high on Kareem Hunt when he first came here in terms of how good a player he was. I wasn't high at the time on them bringing him in.
He was pretty productive his first couple of years.
He was pretty productive. His productivity has gone down.
Yes.
It has.
When I saw him play last year, I didn't think he was that good. But he's a veteran NFL player. He still has something left in the tank, I believe. We don't know what kind of shape he's in right now. But he knows the system. He knows the team. He knows the players. I think Jerome Ford, at least initially, has still got to be the main guy.
And that's the report.
But I think this was the best. Yeah. He was probably the best option to be the 1B or the 2 if you want for that.
We'll talk much more about Kareem Hunt in just a little bit. First, a little bit of housekeeping. I know on the slate leading into the show, we had Aditi at noon. We're going to call an audible at the line. We're going to check out of that play, and we're going to bring her down at 12:30. Some scheduling conflicts, so she'll be here at 12:30. Coach Ty is going to break down some pivotal plays from Monday night.
I'm back.
I'm curious to see which plays you've selected and how you diagram and tell us exactly what happened. We're also going to play a new game. This is called Match the Grades. Last week we did it. I thought this was a good segment.
Yeah.
We did the PFF grades. And this week what we're going to do is we're going to give you a Browns player, a Steelers player, and then a PFF grade. We've got to match the grade to the player. Was it the Brown or was it the Steeler?
Last week we did grade versus eye test.
Right. And what we learned, I think, is that this is far from a science. You've always said that. Players don't buy into it.
It's blasphemy.
It gives us something to measure the player by, but it by no means is it the end-all, be-all.
Well, no, but it's more of a science than our eye test.
A science means it's provably true.
Okay,
you can't provably true that Jed Wills was a whatever.
Fair enough.
That's very true.
It's more legitimate, I would say, than our eye test.
We'll find out today. We'll find out. We'll find out. We're going to put it to the test.
I won't speak for the rest of you, but I'm not watching every single player on every single play.
And quite frankly, I find it almost impossible to believe that anybody can. I don't know how large the grading staff is.
They're going back and they have to have somebody designated to this.
There are 40 players taking more than 15 snaps a game every game.
Yep.
It's a lot.
I don't even know from a workload standpoint how they do it.
You'd have to have a lot of guys.
I'm about to say they got to have a lot of people on staff.
And I don't know that they do. I don't know. Anyhow, Aditi, true or false, if there's time. And at the end of the show...
It better be time.
The
reigning champ.
I hate to say this because we've got a Buckeye sitting here between us. But, man, in Northeast Ohio, the Buckeyes get lost until Saturday at noon.
That's a fact.
They really do. But we are going to talk today because it's such a monumental game. It's only the fourth time that Notre Dame and Ohio State have played in the regular season, going back to 1935, I believe.
Blows my mind.
So you're talking, 88 years. This is only the fourth regular season meeting. They're both powerhouses. They're geographically married.
Yep.
I can't believe they've only done this 4 times. I was in Columbus when they had the first home and home in 95, 96. I think that's right.
You were there?
I was covering the Buckeyes then, so I went to Notre Dame for the Notre Dame game. I covered the game in Columbus. I was there from 93 to 98. I believe those games were 95, 96.
I was 1 and 2.
Wow.
Eddie
George went off.
Let me ask you guys a question.
Season against
Let me ask
Notre
you a
Dame.
hypothetical that maybe on a slower time of the year we can debate sometime.
Okay.
But a real quick answer on the hypothetical. Obviously, in terms of our coverage and in terms of Cleveland coverage in general, Buckeye football is fourth behind obviously the Browns and then the Guardians and then the Cavs. Cavs are probably ahead of the Guardians.
Yeah,
I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
It goes back and forth depending on which.
I would agree with that though.
However, if the Buckeyes played in the spring instead of the fall, if college football was in the spring instead of the fall, would they clearly be number 2 in Cleveland, or no?
Like over
the Cavs and the Guardians.
That's an interesting question, Bull.
I mean, everybody loves football.
Yeah. But to his point, college football is gobbled up in the fall by the NFL.
Right.
You'll think about it. As much as we talk about college football on Saturdays, it owns Saturday.
Yeah.
Right. College football owns Saturday. But at midnight Saturday night,
it's over.
The page is quickly turned. Yeah. Everything that happened, it's like it's in a vacuum and it disappears.
That's right.
And now all of the focus is on NFL.
Would.
I think it might be too.
I think it might be. I mean, unless the Cavs is doing really well.
I think that could be a fun summer debate, Mike.
It would throw the NFL off if they moved their season to the spring, because how would you do the draft?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it would really mess things up. But I like the idea because it would give it more of a spotlight.
No doubt.
But then it'll take the spotlight away from. Isn't the XFL and the USFL in the spring?
Both.
Listen, college football is big.
No, what I'm saying.
And USFL and whatever else is like a little minuscule ant.
What I'm
the
saying.
USFL and XFL would not like that.
First of all, they're
them.
merging. Did y'all see that?
Well,
the
that
XFL
was
and the
expected.
USFL
That's
is
smart.
merging.
2 and 3 can't survive. If you put 2 and 3 together, maybe they can survive. Maybe.
We'll see.
All right, busy show. McNuggets, good morning to you.
What is up, guys? It is a busy morning, and we're going to get right into the action. And before we do that, I do want to let you all know that tonight, myself, Earl, Anthony, 7 o'clock, Behind the Glass, we will be breaking down the Kareem Hunt signing, looking forward to Tennessee and everything else that needs to be addressed in terms of the Browns, the Guardians, the Cavs, but really, as you guys just alluded to, mostly the Browns heading into Week 3 of the NFL season. 7 o'clock, be there. It'll be fun, and as always, you'll get the behind-the-scenes stories of UCSS you can't get on the normal show.
By the way, last night, I said before the show, it was shocking that I'm going to a women's volleyball game this
First time ever, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the time of your life.
Well, I'm going to Division III because
The athleticism is off.
my wife is friends with the NYU women's volleyball coach, and they played for a national title last year, lost in the championship.
Did they really? Wow.
They did. But last night, I was watching the WNBA for a little while.
Oh, it's really good.
You know
the
what?
playoffs.
That game last night was spectacular.
Isn't it
You know,
good?
they won Liberty.
Didn't Breonna Stewart hit?
They won at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyway, I don't mean to sidetrack our football talk because obviously we're going to get to Kareem Hunt, but I just thought I'd stun you all by saying.
Well, you did stun us, and I think we're now very, very close to eclipsing the over-under for the entire calendar year on WNBA talk. The over-under was 45 seconds, and we're at 22 now.
22.
So if we talk about it one more time, we will push the over.
That's right.
We have to start with the Kareem Hunt signing. We touched on it a little bit.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a move that makes sense. He's close. He's been in the area working out. I'm said he's in pretty good shape. I'm told he's in pretty good shape.
Although, I don't
Yesterday, there was someone here that said they weren't sure about that.
Does the person who told me he was unsure about his shape want to say it on the air or no? No, yes?
He's typing. So
Is it a guess, or do they know it factually?
We ran into Kareem at the softball game, Greg Newsom's softball game a couple months ago.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Okay.
That's a couple of months ago. These guys can drop 15, You guys can drop that 15 in 2-3 weeks of intense
But he
training.
also knows that there's a difference between being in shape and being in football.
Yeah,
Oh, he's not in football shape. That's impossible.
Right. But I
He
think
hasn't played.
I bet you he'll be active this week.
I think he will too.
But he'll be active.
I think he'll be active. He'll probably be second or third in carries. I still think that the workhorse is going to be Jerome Ford.
Yeah.
He has to be active. You got to have at least 3 active during the game.
Well, you don't have to, but it's
you
advisable.
you better.
It's advisable.
You better.
Yeah.
I mean, just think if Pierre Strong wasn't active.
No, you're right.
It would have been just Jerome Ford.
So I imagine that he will be.
He will be active in this game.
By the way, are we okay? Are we just fine with any celebration now? Or does anybody think it's absurd that Jerome Ford runs 69.5 yards, Pierre Strong gets stopped at the goal line, on the next play he gets in from 1 inch, and then he's strutting around like he did something?
It's
We're okay with that?
It's an NFL touchdown.
Doesn't matter.
What I will say is,
I mean, Jerome Ford did all
My
the work.
style would be act like you've been there before, but if you haven't,
Yeah, that's true. It might have been his first touchdown.
I think
right?
it was his first touchdown.
Yeah.
So
It is his first touchdown.
I mean, go ahead, go
Yeah,
nuts
yeah.
for 1 touchdown.
That's fair.
But next time you get a 1-yard run, I don't want to see any of that.
That's only because Jerome Ford did all the work. So
know,
we
he
should have gotten the touchdown.
Wasn't that like the most Browns thing ever that he was down on the inch line?
Right.
And as I'm watching, I'm going, oh, well, the next page of the Browns playbook says that we fumbled.
Yeah.
And we're not
Or
going to
they
get
decide
in.
to throw and get picked off in the end zone.
A pick six.
y'all are sad.
We've been there for so long.
All right, back to Kareem Hunt. The reason that I like the Kareem Hunt signing, and I tweeted it out yesterday. I said that, one, he's from Cleveland, so that right there holds something there. When you get guys that's from the city and they understand, just the drought that you've been in and how things have been, you want to be the reason to change that narrative. It means a little bit more to you. And I know he's been here before, and things kind of was up and down last year with the way he was acting with his attitude. And, I mean, listen, he was behind the man, Nick Chubb, so your carries was not great. And you didn't really have a lot of good moments last year, I think. But before that, I thought he had some time where he ran angry. And I think that's the thing that he brings.
What I like about him.
That's what he brings to this thing. Because, like I say, we talked about Pierre Strong after after the 69-yard run from Jerome Ford. He got stoned on the 1-yard line, but then he ended up getting in. You get a guy like Kareem Hunt, which I was saying on the show yesterday, they needed a physical running back that could come in there and get those short yardage goal line plays, and I think he fits that mold also. What I really like about him is that he had a relationship with Nick Chubb. Like, him and Nick Chubb was pretty close. So he understands the magnitude of the injury, and he wants to make sure he honors his friends. So now you got two things.
I didn't think of that.
You got two things that he brings to this table that no other running back out there does. He's from the city, and he was really cool with Nick Chubb. So that means he's going to run the ball with a purpose. You run the ball with a purpose. Like, if you honoring Nick Chubb, you're going to run that ball extra hard.
He runs violently. Exactly. He always has.
So I think that's why I think he's the best decision for this, and financially as well.
Right.
I'll give you one other thing. What's the one thing Kareem Hunt does better than Nick Chubb?
He catches passes.
Yeah. That's one of his biggest strengths as a running back. Yeah. It's something that he's always been very good at.
Well, they say Jerome Ford was supposed to be. That's kind of the reason why he wasn't on the roster, because Jerome Ford could catch really well.
Right, but Kareem Hunt's done it. Jerome Ford.
Well, I tell you what, if that's the case, we need to put the screen game into our system, because we haven't seen that in a couple of games.
From your lips to the football gods'
ears.
Or Kevin Stefanski.
Please get the screen game involved. You got two running backs now that can catch the ball out the backfield. Please give them the ball.
Yeah, that's the hope. I thought it'd be cool to do the best thing about signing Kareem Hunt and the worst thing about signing Kareem Hunt. And for me, the best thing, obviously, familiarity. I'll add your point in, because I think that's a great point. He has a relationship with Nick Chubb. By all accounts, the two are very close. And I think he will not, everybody tries their hardest all the time. But if there is another gear to find, he's likely to find it, because he's trying to honor a very good friend and now teammate in Nick Chubb. I think the worst thing about signing it, and I hadn't really thought about this, Bull, you've been driving this point really since the tail end of last season, when we were talking about, do they keep him, do they let him go?
Yeah.
And you kept saying his production is down. His production is down. And by my eye test, I don't see a different player. I see a player that gets the ball a lot less. And so on that note, I wanted to go back and look and see what he's done from a production standpoint from when he came in the league in 2017 to today. I just think it's good context for today's talk. First of all, this is what I love more than anything. He's touched the ball over 1,200 times in the NFL. He's lost one fumble.
Yeah, that's
I think that's we cannot afford to be giving the football away. So on that vein, you need your running back to protect the football. He does it as well as anybody. On the touch side of things, obviously his rookie season when he came in and shocked the NFL, he came in out of Toledo, and I remember week 2 of 2017, every fantasy owner was scurrying to pick up this guy they never heard of named Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
He had quite a splash, 1,300 yards running, 455 receiving yards, but a lot of opportunity. Right. I'll just give his average yards per carry as his career went on. 4.9 rookie season. Next year, 4.6. 4.2. 4.2. He was 4.9 in 21, which was back to his rookie season.
But last year was his worst, I believe.
Last year, he dropped a full yard per carry.
I thought he looked...
Lowest carries, by the way, of his career.
I thought, to me, I'm not an expert, but to me, he looked noticeably slower on the field. I did not think he had the same burst and athleticism that he had in the past. He wasn't terrible.
Right.
I thought last year he was more in the serviceable category.
Well, the numbers prove that out.
Yeah.
When I watched him last year, it was a big difference between him and Nick Chubb. And we kind of talked about it a little bit last year, but we never went all the way in on it. And I think we're about to find out now that Nick Chubb isn't there how good he really is. I don't think that offensive line was really great last year, because
they had some problems.
Exactly, and I think it showed when Kareem was in there. It was like Nick Chubb can make guys miss, and Nick Chubb's he's never going to let the first tackle.
And he breaks tackles.
Exactly. Kareem Hunt, it seemed like when he got the ball, they was in the backfield and he just couldn't get away. He couldn't break the tackle or nothing. I think if this offensive line works together and creates the gap, I think he can still be effective, because he runs the ball really hard.
Right.
But if you can't get your feet going, which Leroy talks about all the time, if I can't get my feet going, it's hard to get any production. And I swear when I watched him last year, it was a lot of in the backfield.
Yeah.
As soon as he was touching the ball, he tried to make a move and that type of thing.
Tyvis, you're 100% right. The special backs, and Nick Chubb's one of the few. How many special backs are there? There's Nick Chubb, there's Derrick Henry, there's Christian McCaffrey. Who else is special?
Yeah, and by special, you really want to see it for 3 years. And with Jonathan Taylor, we have
No,
he did
I'm
it
not
the
putting
1
him
year.
in that category.
No, you're right, and he doesn't belong in that category.
Austin Eckler,
I think
maybe.
I would put Eckler. I would put
Eckler does too much. He just is a catch.
I don't know that he's a great pass catcher. I don't think he's a special runner. I don't know that he is.
He's just small.
I think he's a big offensive weapon.
To me, he is no doubt a big offense. I think those are the three special backs: Nick Chubb, McCaffrey, and Henry. And those guys, the offensive line is almost irrelevant. Now, it's not completely irrelevant, of course.
Right.
You can't have 5 terrible offensive linemen. But those 3 guys can make up for mistakes of O-linemen more than any other player.
Doesn't Nick lead the league every year in yards after contact?
Yeah, Henry's usually second.
Henry's number 2.
And
to me, that's
right.
a running back.
Especially at the tackle position. Listen, you look, eye test and PFF grades are both awful on Jedrick Wills.
Yeah.
Now, eye test, we've thought DeJuan Jones has been pretty good. The PFF grades say he hasn't been that good, which is okay. I mean, he's a rookie late pick. We don't expect him to be perfect.
Right.
And he was playing against T.J. Watt this past week. But that's what you're concerned about with both Ford and Hunt, is that they're not going to be able to make as many guys miss. Nobody is, as Nick Chubb. So the running game, which will still probably be good, well, there's no way it can be.
It's not elite anymore.
No,
I don't think you can say it's going to be elite.
That's the sad part about it. It's not what it used to be.
Right.
Because you remember just 2020, it didn't matter what running back was in there. That offensive line got that
They were
push,
so good.
And that running back looked phenomenal. Dearness Johnson, Kareem, Nick, everybody
Is anyone
looked good.
surprised they didn't call Dearness Johnson? Is he Jacksonville?
He's still in Jacksonville.
Are you surprised they wouldn't have kicked the tires on trading for Dearness Johnson?
Well,
you wouldn't have to give up much to get him back.
But you got to give up a pick.
Yeah.
6th, 7th round. He's their third string running back.
DPJ was a 6th round pick wide receiver, and he's like,
well, how about we give him DPJ and they give us Dearness Johnson?
That's absurd.
No, that's crazy.
That's absurd.
Here's the thing.
Listen, after the way he let that punt go, that's not absurd.
That's absurd.
Yeah, but he
hurt the team Monday night.
He's been a good player as a wide receiver.
He's been a serviceable wide receiver.
So did Jed Will, so did DeJuan, so did
I'm not trading
Wyatt
those
Teller,
guys.
so did Deshaun, so did Kevin. It's a lot of that list is very long.
Are we not seeing Cedric Tillman, though, because of DPJ? Because if that's true, the team's making a mistake.
Here's what you can read into this signing, is that the Browns believe in Jerome Ford.
Yes.
Yeah, because he's still the guy. By all reports, he's still going to be the number 1 running back.
That they didn't go after Dearness Johnson. That they didn't go after Cam Akers.
Right.
That they didn't go after Jonathan Taylor.
I like Jerome Ford. I think Ford's a very good player.
I thought he played well in this game. Yeah, there were a handful of carries, especially when he first went in, that were 0 and 1 yard. Probably none of those were his fault.
Well,
it was the offensive line. But he made some good, even in the fourth quarter.
Besides he had a nice run in the fourth quarter where he should have been tackled at the line, and he got like a 15-yard pickup or whatever it was.
He had 3 rushes in his last 7 carries that were 6 or more yards. I mean, that's pretty good.
He's getting the benefit of the doubt coming in because, like I told you yesterday, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm not worried about that.
No.
I'm not worried about that.
But no, it doesn't
that
matter.
means he could come in and just electrify the game.
On that point, defensive coordinators aren't worried about that. Really, we said it yesterday, and it's the mantra for the rest of the season. I don't care what anyone says. All eyes on 4.
Yes.
That is the bumper sticker for the rest of the season. Because our running game, which was elite, and now we all agree is no longer elite. How good it's going to be is a question, but it's no longer elite. What does that do to the degree of difficulty for Deshaun Watson finally returning to Deshaun Watson Houston?
Well, how well
defenses now can load up on the pass.
He didn't really have a good running game in Houston, right? In 2020.
No.
So
it was very bad.
Yeah, so he's
but he had one here.
He never had a good running game.
He had one here though, and hasn't been.
But I'm saying, let me throw this at you. Could it be crazy? This almost sounds like the Browns defensive back coach last year. What I'm about to say.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
No.
Don't say it because I know what
we were not ready for their backup.
Is it possible
that he's about to return back to
there's
Ford?
A part of Deshaun Watson, like with Nick Chubb here, you still got to run the ball a lot because I got a great back. Maybe there's a part of him that's like, I got to put it all on me now.
Well,
I got to do this.
Didn't we see that in the second half?
I'm about to say
Pittsburgh?
that was last.
Okay.
And the sample size was short, but it was not good.
It didn't go well. But now it's going into a whole week of preparation.
Where they can game plan.
Right.
Okay.
Where it's like, okay, we were already more focused on the passing game than we've been in years.
Yeah.
Now it's another level.
Well,
That's not as crazy as the Browns defensive backs
That's
coach
true.
last year saying, we just were not ready for Chase and Higgins to go out of the game.
Well, it
really threw us for a loop.
Let me give the people a tease. Later on in this show, we're going to show a couple of plays where Deshaun Watson has some errors and some mistakes, and I'm going to point them out for you and tell you how he could get better.
Wow.
So make sure you stay
Ty's
tuned.
going to quarterback play
You stay
today.
tuned for what I got. I mean, I got a defensive play in there, too, because I got to show my defensive guys some love. But
right.
later on in the show, I got you.
That should be good. Okay, next up, we are going to turn the page. We've had 36 hours
Wait,
to
Jay,
digest.
before we do that-
we've got to read.
I do, and it's actually a super chat question about Kareem Hunt. So we're going to do a PCC read into this before we pivot to our next topic. But whenever we read you guys super chats, it's brought to us by PCC Airfoils. You're looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? Well, PCC Airfoils is a leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils in Eastlake, Menor, Wickliffe, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 and up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off, and a signing bonus. You can apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. Skilly, we see your super chat. I think we just talked about that, so we answered. This one's from Simple, though. He wants to know, guys, do you think Kareem has lost a step, or was his lack of production last year just a lack of being the primary back in this system?
There's a mixture of both.
His opportunity was way down.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of opportunity. He was upset about it. I mean, like I said, during the Browns radio network, I get to hear his locker room talk. He was very quiet, very quick, always kept the ski mask on, didn't really want to say a lot, but didn't want to not be professional and not answer questions. So you could tell he was definitely bothered by the situation that was at hand. But also, like I said, the offensive line wasn't great, so that helped. That limited his production. And I still believe that he did lose the gear. So that too.
So both.
Yeah.
I think it was. I mean, I know his opportunity was down last year more than his first year with the Browns. He actually had less attempts per game, but the 2 years before last year, he had more. However, he's been the number 2 back the entire time he's been here,
right.
So he's used to that to some degree. I think it's 90% about him losing a step.
That could be why his opportunity was down, because the coaches saw in practice he's not the same guy.
Exactly.
And they gave it to him less. I don't know that that's necessarily the case, but they're mutually intertwined, opportunity and production. Because if you're producing, your opportunity is going to go up.
Yes.
And if you're not,
right,
your opportunity is going to go down. That's just common sense, and that's probably what happened last year. Okay, now we can turn it to the. I always like doing this, Mike, because I run hot. I'm Italian. I run very hot, and a lot of times there's a mantra that I try to live by, but I never do. And the mantra that I try to live by is, don't let the passion of the moment degrade your intelligence. And I know that to be true. I think we all do. Mm-hmm. However, we've all lost our cool. We've all said things we wanted back, particularly in the heat of the moment. Mm-hmm. I don't want anybody fired over their performance on Monday night. I didn't say that I did, but I'm just saying, a lot of times when we're watching the game, you're like, fire the bomb. Well, you don't really mean that. So now we've had 36 hours, sort of a buffer to completely and fairly assess what we saw Monday night. Mm-hmm. And we can go around the horn. Bull, you can start. Has anything changed now that you've had a little bit more time to let it marinate and kind of figure out what's what?
Yeah, I mean, so yesterday when we started the show, we were lamenting the injury to Nick Chubb.
We were.
And I was like, come on, cheer up, blah, blah, blah. I was trying to get people fired up.
And it did feel like a funeral in here.
And it did.
Yeah, it did.
And I realized soon, about 30 seconds after I said it, that I was too soon on that. So we needed to let it breathe for a little more.
Right.
So now, 24 hours later, I'm saying, listen, we're all heartbroken about Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I read today that he might need to have 2 different surgeries.
Monica Robbins on Channel 3 told us that last night.
Okay.
She said she talked to a Cleveland Clinic specialist and said he's likely looking at it.
It's horrible.
It is.
There's nothing to be happy about when it comes to Nick Chubb.
No.
It's terrible. Well, I will say on the football side of things is this season is not over. Okay? As great as Nick Chubb is, If you ask me the percentage chance of the Browns winning the division, making the playoffs, all these things, they all went down.
They're 1-1. How could the season be over?
But their percentage of success this year has gone down to some degree.
Yes.
There's no denying that. But I don't think it's gone down. Like when Aaron Rodgers got hurt for the Jets.
Oh, it's over.
It's over.
That's a wrap.
That's it. They got no shot at making the playoffs.
Just like it would be for any team that lost their elite quarterback.
That's right. The Browns still have a chance. Now, it's all on 4, as you already mentioned.
Yeah.
He's got to do it. He has got to be the guy that they paid a lot of money to, that they paid the draft picks to. And if he's performing, I don't care. I don't care about the money, the draft picks, none of it. They traded for him because they believed he was a superstar, because he was a superstar in Houston. He has shown virtually no sign of that, and we have to see it. I haven't changed my opinion on Deshaun Watson. I still think that guy is there. I believe this is mostly mental. It's possible he never gets over that and he never gets great again. We're all praying, and I don't pray, but we all are praying.
You can pray to the football gods.
That does not happen. We all want Deshaun Watson to be great again, right? Make Deshaun Watson great again.
That sounds like a hat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't make it red, but it sounds like a hat.
Make it orange.
And that's just the thought. It's like, okay, we take a breath. This part of us grieves in a way. It grieves. I don't know if grieves is the right word, but for Nick Chubb. But the football part of us, we got to keep moving. We got to keep plugging forward. As Rocky Balboa said, keep moving forward. Nothing hits as hard as life. You got to keep. It's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. There you go. Browns got to keep moving forward.
You've watched that movie a number of times.
Love Rocky.
You want to grade my performance in that movie?
You did a good job in that movie. It's excellent.
I agree with that. I think, and I like that kind of as a mantra. You know, life is going to knock you down.
That's right.
It's not about how many times it knocks you down. It's just as long as you get on your feet as many times as you get knocked down.
And nobody's been knocked down as much as Browns fans.
You're right about that.
Nobody.
You're right.
You, all of you watching us right now, you've been knocked down more than anybody. This is the latest punch to the gut. This one's worse, right? It's an uppercut to the jaw.
It might be to the middle regions.
Yeah, right. Might be.
I don't know if it's to the gut.
But like you always do, you get up. You get up and keep moving forward. Be out there. You be out there Sunday for the Titans game. By the way, I was supposed to go tailgating this weekend. I can't go. I apologize. But I just a couple things. But,
okay.
But I will be there for a tailgate at another, probably in October instead. But everybody, let's go. The season's not over, but it's all about Deshaun. He's got if he finally this week plays like he's capable of, then everybody's going to be feeling groovy again.
Yeah, we will.
On Monday.
I mean, give us 2-1 and the elite Deshaun Watson again.
That's right.
And that hides a lot of words.
It'll make everybody feel better.
If he rolls another 30 QBR
and they lose to the Titans,
and they lose to the Titans, because then if you start peeking ahead on the schedule, you could be 1-4.
Right, because if you're 2-1 and he played great and you're playing the Ravens, you're going to be thinking,
let's
beat
go.
The Ravens.
We've got this.
But if he plays lousy and they lose, you can think, well, we're not beating the Ravens.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you wake up and you're 1-3, and San Francisco's coming next, aren't they? After the Ravens?
Yeah.
Like Ravens by San Francisco.
Right.
And there's one great way to make sure you miss the playoffs, and that's dig yourself a 1-4 or 1-5
right. Let's go, Deshaun. That's my
all eyes on 4
right now. Yeah.
All eyes on 4.
Oh, it's on me.
No, it's all eyes on you now.
Okay, yeah. So the way I look at it is now. Okay, y'all lost probably one of the heart and souls of y'all team, offensively, and not even offensively, just as a teammate.
I would say the heart.
Yeah. How do you honor him if this is your guy?
That's right.
You know, if this is your guy and this is your brother, this is family. How do you honor him?
Yeah.
Because
we'll give them a pass for the second half of Pittsburgh because I think they were still in shock.
There's a lot of shock in that.
But now they've had, they'll have 6 days to gather.
Yeah, you're going into this knowing that he's not going to be there no more. You know that maybe his career could potentially be over. So, how do you honor him? That's my question. As a coach, you coach harder. You do that extra prep. You make sure you give that guy that extra nugget. Make sure that they're well prepared for that game. As a player, you go out there and you cherish every single moment. Every play that you on that field, you go out there and you go as hard as you can because you just witnessed that the next play is not promised. And you know why you do it? Because the guy that you honoring, that's what he did every time he touched that field. And then you don't want to disrespect him and anything that he's brought to that organization. So you go out there and you play as hard as you freaking can. And don't worry, if you get tired, if you go out for dehydration, they will carry you off the field because that's what Nick Chubb would have done. So that's what you do for the rest of this season. You honor your brother that's down, and you play as hard as you possibly can, and you win as many games. Deshaun Watson, listen, I was on Twitter yesterday, and I seen Nick Wright, the national media. Nick Wright was on First Things First, and he was saying, you're done. He said, this right here, you're never coming back. This is going to go down as the worst transaction of all time. What you do with that is you prove him wrong. You prove him wrong.
By the way, that's impossible.
You got so much. You got so much baggage and so much stuff that's happened in your life. And
I'm curious. Bull said that's impossible.
Nothing could be worse than the Herschel Walker trade.
No, nothing could be worse than the Ricky Williams trade.
The Herschel Walker trade gave the Cowboys essentially 4 Super Bowls.
Right. The Ricky Williams trade is worse. But anyways,
the Ricky Williams trade was awful.
Anyway,
this could be the third worst.
But I'll tell you this one from Capital.
Oh yeah, capital reasons. Yeah,
and money. It would be right up there.
I would say third worst ever if he never any good again.
Anyway,
go ahead.
Anyways, Deshaun, all this national media said that you're done. They said there's no way that you get back to who you were. And you said before the season you wanted to be better than that. Now that this team is riding on you, and it's a lot of pressure. You got a coaching staff that's dependent on you. You got star players that's dependent. You got guys that even came here because of you, because they believe in you. What do you do with all of that pressure? You can like Bull just alluded to. You say Rocky says if you get knocked down, you can get back up again. It's not about as hard as you get hit. It's about as hard as you can take a hit and keep going. You got knocked smooth out on Monday. You got knocked smooth out.
Is that smooth with a V?
Smooth out.
Is he chalked?
No, he ain't chalked.
He's not chalked?
He ain't chalked yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, that would be he's not. If Nick Wright is right,
that's right. He's chalked.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
This whole city still believes in you. It's a couple of naysayers, but that's everywhere in life. Anytime you're supposed to be the man, you're going to deal with some naysayers. You gotta show up. You gotta show out. You don't have the luxury of the running game that we think. Maybe Jerome Ford can be, maybe Kareem Hunt can be, but right now it's all about you. What do you do with that? You got to go out there and you have to deliver. And like I said, I'm gonna break this film down because I see what your problem is a little bit.
Oh, so you're gonna fix them?
You're suffering a little bit of the Josh Allen syndrome, and you got to let that go. That's half the problem.
Stop trying to be a hero.
Yeah, just take what they give you. You're trying to do too much at times.
All right, I can't wait to see that segment.
Just make the play, keep the sticks moving, because it's not about throwing this pretty ball downfield all the time. It's actually about just keeping the chains moving. A lot of quarterbacks has been successful. There's so many quarterbacks that's won Super Bowls from just checking the ball down and taking what the defense is giving them. You got to find that. You got to do it. I know you can identify where to go with the football. You got to stand in there and deliver that ball, because if you don't, you'll let a whole city down, you'll let a whole coaching staff down, you let a whole team down, which is a lot of pressure. But the good news is you went to Clemson, you went to Houston, you resurrected 2 places, because Clemson wasn't that great when you got there, but you made them something. You won them a championship. And Houston wasn't really that good, but you took them to the playoffs, and you actually, I don't know if you won a game.
They won a game.
They won a game in Houston. So you got what it takes to do it. You can resurrect the franchise. You need to be that guy.
I'm glad you're here, because once upon a time you played on a team
I did.
that suffered a devastating injury.
Yeah, I did.
At the worst possible time. So I want you to do a couple of things. Take us in the moment of that Michigan game when the injury happened. What was the feeling on the sidelines? What was the feeling when the backup came in and led the team to victory? And how did you guys meander through the 3 biggest games that probably most of you ever played in?
Did you know how to do it?
Did I know Cardale could do it?
Yeah.
Well, he was my roommate. The one thing I knew about Cardale is that I knew Cardale could throw the ball. Like I don't know how good he was at reading defenses and all that. I know that if you give him time to stand in that pocket, he throw that ball faster and harder than anybody I've ever seen up until that point. So I knew that he could throw the ball really well. But when JT went down, it was similar to the Nick Chubb thing, because
you were in shock.
Yeah, because it's like, if you know JT, if he got a pulse in his body, he's going to play. Mm-hmm. So when he didn't get back up, which he tried to, if you go watch the replay,
he definitely
tried to get up, and they said,
"No, you're done.
Stay down. Your ankle is the opposite way. Please stay down." So when you see him go down, and you understand the situation that he's been in, the leader that he was, it was some nervousness with Cardio coming in there because you don't know what to expect from a guy that's never been in a game. You know, you don't know how they're going to react. And I remember the first play I think they called for Cardio was like it was like 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 or something like that, 3rd and 2 or something. It was something short yardage, and they ran a quarterback like draw. And I'm like, okay, Cardio 6'5", 250 pounds, that should be easy. And he got stoned. And I remember him saying, yeah, I was just nervous. You know, I had the jitters. So it was like, as a defense, we're thinking to ourselves, we're in shock and we're upset because JT is out, but we got to win this game. Like, we don't know what we're going to get from the quarterback, so we got to win this game. Obviously, through the heroics of Zeke in a 4th and 1, he ended up icing the game and blah, blah, blah. But moving on from that moment on in those next 3 games, as a defense, it was still, we just seen the performance Cardio gave. It wasn't that great. So the only way we're going to win these games is if we have to play lights out defense. And I'm pretty sure that's what the Browns are thinking right now. We don't know what
Your teams were similar.
We don't know what we're going to get from Deshaun right now. So the only way we're going to win these games is we got to find a way to hold people to 0, 7, under 14 points was the goal. They can't get no more than 14 points because we don't know. Obviously, Cardio went out there and did 59, and that was great, and we ended up rolling from there. But, yeah, it was a similar situation where defense started to step up. And then once Cardio got that rhythm and he started completing these passes and he got his confidence, it came, and he was able to just continue to make plays. So that's why I know Deshaun can do it because he did it. He's done it in the league. He's done it in college. He's done it in high school.
As opposed to Cardell, who had not.
Exactly. He's never done it. So you have what it takes. You just got to do it. And the best way to do it is stop going for the big play every time. You don't need the big play. What gets you confidence is just completions. Just seeing your guy catch the ball is something about that. Like when you get into that groove, like, all right, just completion. And then guess what happens? You get that corner that's so desperate to stop
then
that.
Take a deep route.
Then you hit them with the double move, and now that deep ball is open.
Right.
But you can't open the game up just throwing deep balls. That's not going to work.
Right, if you're hitting them with
you got to get that corner thinking.
He's been wildly inaccurate with his deep balls this year.
True.
Wildly inaccurate.
Yeah. If we all agree that the mental aspect of this is a big part of why he's struggling, right? Do we all agree on that?
I do now more than ever.
Right. So, to your point, if he's completing shorter passes, but all of a sudden his completion percentage is high, guys are catching the ball, they're moving the ball down the field, it's slow, it's methodical, whatever, you would think in his head that would give him some confidence, right? As opposed to chucking it 25 yards down the field.
Completions equals confidence for a quarterback.
Right. And
But it does kind of, Bull, you'll get this, when a power hitter is in a slump.
Yeah.
Oftentimes the slump feeds upon itself because now he's trying to hit home runs.
Sure.
And just about any hitting coach will tell you the surest way to not hit home runs is to try to hit home runs.
Right.
Just go back to your basics. Level swing, make contact, hit the fat part of the ball. They'll happen. They'll happen. But when you're trying to do it, you're forcing it, and it makes it a lot more difficult to do. I think you're right. I think for now, everything should be 15 and in. And if the deep ball is there, take it, but don't force it. Because bad things can happen. I think he's thrown maybe six deep balls this year. I haven't seen one of them be close.
High percentage throws. That's what he needs to do right now.
Build your confidence.
Yes.
Get that base built, and then go to the top.
And it's going to sound boring. It's going to look boring to people. But right now, you need to – because the only guy that you have chemistry with, which is sad to say, is Amari Cooper. Like – Amari Cooper and him is all timing. If you ever watch him play, him and Amari Cooper has a timing. He knows that when I take this 3-step hitch, when I hitch up, ball got to come out, Amari Cooper's expecting it. And I know you know that because when I listen to you on postgame, thank you, Browns Radio Network, for allowing me to listen to postgame, they ask you a bunch of times, why did you do this or why didn't you throw that ball to Amari Cooper? You will say out of your mouth, the timing was messed up in that. I slipped and fell, and I knew that my timing was late, so I didn't want to make that mistake and throw it late to Amari Cooper because I know he wasn't going to be expecting it. So I know you have a timing thing with him. But everybody else, you got to figure out your chemistry.
Yeah. You know what? When we have Mary Kay on, if I forget to ask this, hopefully I'd like if one of you guys could if I forget. But I feel like somebody needs to, because Kevin Stefanski's talking at 2:30 today. And somebody needs to ask him about the screen game. Because think about it. Yeah. What's a more high percentage play than a screen pass? It may not go for a ton of yards all the time, but early in the game.
It can move the sticks consistently.
And it just, again, it goes back to the confidence. If he's hitting some screen passes, some slants, some quick passes, some quick throws, just get the ball out of his hands and get it into the skill guys, it's going to build his confidence, you would think.
Yeah.
And the fact that they're not running any screens is baffling.
It's really baffling.
Really my biggest criticism of Stefanski. And I liked, I've defended him a lot, but
you have?
That's the one thing I just don't get why they don't do that much.
Before we move on, I want to go here. What was the ceiling with Nick Chubb in your mind, and what is the ceiling now?
What do you mean,
So
how
before
far
the
could they
season
go?
started, and you saw everything, or even after the Cincinnati game,
Yeah.
you had one game in the barn.
After
you
the
could assess that. Were you thinking this team could make a divisional playoff game?
I thought that they could make the AFC Championship game.
Really?
I did.
What is their ceiling now for you? Has that changed?
Yes, because of the play of 4, but I mean with the play of 4, I anticipated 4 being much better, but it's something about the Browns like to come out in that first half and they like to hit you hard. They like to try to get up fast, and it was something about having Nick Chubb in the second half that I was just like, they ain't gonna stop. They ain't nobody.
He's a wrecking ball.
The defense is worn down.
Yes.
They don't want to hit him to begin with. There's no way that they're gonna stop him. It's a great game plan. Now that he's not there, what it does is it leaves the window for teams to come back open.
Right.
And that's what scares me, because you go up against a Patrick Mahomes, he's never out of it. Now with Nick Chubb, he might be out of it because you bleeding the clock out. But if you don't have that, that's not going to happen.
So are they a playoff team without Nick Chubb?
They can make the playoffs still.
Yeah.
But
you don't see a run.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb, by the way, averaged over 6 yards per carry in the fourth quarter. Think about that for a minute. In the fourth quarter, when most guys are tired, Nick Chubb in his career averaged over 6 yards per carry. I'm going to tell you something that people are going to like here. I don't think the Browns' ceiling has changed. Now, their odds of getting to that ceiling have changed a little bit, but I still believe that if, and this is a massive if, Deshaun Watson plays to the best of his ability, the Browns can not only get to the playoffs, they are still good enough, talent-wise, to win a Super Bowl this year. That may sound insane. If you're asking me, are the Browns going to win a Super Bowl this year? I would say no. Yeah. If you're asking me, can they win the Super Bowl this year? I would still say yes. Now, what to me has changed is their floor. Their floor is lower without Nick Chubb.
Oh, I think
because
that's
he was a security blanket.
Yes.
Now, and so if Deshaun Watson keeps playing the way he has, the Browns will finish under 500 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fire.
Because they don't have a run. You can't win with just defense.
Right.
Not in this NFL.
Yeah, no, I think that's very fair. My ceiling for them coming into the season was they were going to scrap to try to get to double-digit wins. Scrap. But I thought there was a chance they could, so for me that was their ceiling, and 10 could get you into the playoffs. It's not. It's probably more likely to not that you don't make the playoffs. You know, that you're going to probably need 11. But I thought that they could scrap to get to 10 and they would be in the playoff mix. After seeing Deshaun Watson for 2 games and losing Nick Chubb, my ceiling is they're no longer a playoff team.
However,
and that's just my opinion.
That's fair, but I know, and you know, that if Deshaun Watson plays out this week,
all bets are off if he turns it around and plays not better.
No,
I need significantly better.
No, I agree.
Because right now his QBR is 31.
No, he needs to play like a star.
He needs to be the star that he was.
If he plays like a star,
they're making the playoffs.
Then they're a playoff caliber team. If he doesn't, they're not. It's
on him.
Yeah.
And we're going to call an audible just like Deshaun Watson is now allowed to do at the line of scrimmage in this Browns offense. We're going to do PFF grades before Coach Tyvis, but because we've been talking about Deshaun Watson and the focus of Coach Tyvis this week is Deshaun Watson,
let's do it.
We're going to do Coach Tyvis before we get into Coach Tyvis and his always wonderful breakdown segments. So I got to ask everybody out there watching, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, do us a favor. You'll be amazed at how much that little free click, it is free, helps us in the long run with YouTube. Help us make this the biggest show, not just in Cleveland, but the biggest citywide sports show in the country. And you can do your part by hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, telling your friends, telling your family, and making sure you guys tune in to everything we do here on UCSS. And with that, Coach Tyvis, are you ready to break down 2 Deshaun Watson plays and a play from Denzel Ward?
Yes, I am. You know, I had to put Denzel in there. It's my boy. You know, it's
He made some really
my
nice
favorite
plays.
Browns player of all
He
time.
made some nice plays Monday.
He did. So yeah, let's roll it. Let's roll the.
Now, the
clip.
first one is a montage. It's actually a couple of Watson plays, but there's a common theme, as Tyvis will explain. Mike,
Okay.
you can punch Coach Tyvis up when he's ready. Anthony, hit the play button, and Tyvis, take it away.
All right, so on this play right here, this is the play to Elijah Moore. Elijah Moore is running this spray out, and it's on Deshaun Watson because his timing is down. Right here, that ball should be gone, but you see he pats it, he hitch, and he takes a while to get rid of it, allowing that DB to get back. But it's not just his fault. Elijah Moore has to get flat. As you see right there, the ball should be out of his hand, but Elijah Moore should go straight down that line. If he goes straight down that line, that DB doesn't get that angle, and that ball has to get put towards the sideline. On this one right here, you got this wide open. I understand it's 3rd and long, but give your guys a chance. You got Pierre Armstrong, the running back right there. He catches this ball. He breaks the tackle. It's a first down. Exactly. This last one right here, he got to put the ball. Him and Harrison Bryant need to get in the lab together because this ball is behind him again. He puts this ball in front of him or on him, then he makes the play. We seen earlier, the first play of the game, he puts the ball too far on the outside, and it led to something like that. So him and Harrison Bryant need to get in the lab together and figure it out. But you can see Deshaun Watson, it's on him, but it's not solely on him on this play. You know, like I said.
Was this the first one?
This
Can
the
I
first
point
one.
something out? He was staring down his receiver from the time he got the football.
Well, that's because it's all timing. It's timing.
But the great.
You should not do it. You're supposed to look down the middle, then go to where you're supposed to go.
And he got the ball, and he was staring, and he never turned his head.
But the fact
If
that
anything, a timing play, it's easier to look away because you know where you're going.
You know.
But like I say, that's what I'm saying. I don't know what it is with Amari Cooper. He makes that play 9 times out of 10. But with anybody else, it's for some odd reason he watches the route and makes sure they're open. So I don't know if he's not working with them enough or whatever the case may be. But they spent all this time together in the offseason. These passes should be better. And Harrison Bryant, God bless you. I know you keep trying to do things, but God,
I know you guys are
put
saying that's a
on
bad
him.
catch, and he should have caught the ball.
With this right here?
Yeah.
No,
well, the pick
not
six.
that one.
The
pick six.
Yeah,
He
not
should have
that
caught
one.
that
I don't know
ball.
how that's a tough catch for a
and look,
tight end.
It's
So they not pass catchers now?
I mean,
no, but
he's not a star.
Tyvis,
He's a
you
third
know as
string
well as
tight
I
end.
do
How they gonna do
that
this?
if you want to complete the pass, give your tight end or receiver a chance to catch it when it's
He
behind.
did.
If
Are you talking about
you-
that last one right there that we just saw?
Both.
Oh, that one he
The
had no
first one was in
That
front
one he had
of
no
him.
chance. But I'm talking even about the pick six. We put a clip out yesterday. I think that was this a bad pass or a bad throw, or was it on the receiver? The answer is it's on both.
Yeah.
It hits your hands, you better catch it.
Yes.
However, the quarterback, that's a 7-yard throw. The quarterback's got to make a better throw there.
I blame Watson more.
I
than
blame
Bryant on
Watson
that play.
70% and 30% goes to the tight end.
Dude, I know it hit his hands, but he's like stretching out. He's a tight end.
and it's behind him.
Not that. I wish. Can we pull that up?
We can
please?
show that, can't we, Mike?
Like,
By the way, the
please
pick
tell me
six?
that's still a tag board.
The pick six?
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
that.
Give me 1 second.
All right.
Like, you gotta cut
Something
this
else
out.
about that. When with the Elijah Moore play, you said he's got to go flat. So in other words, if he's cutting across on the 20, he's got to stay on the 20.
Yeah, flatten it
Yes,
out.
that's what he's
because
supposed to run.
because if
Now
you
the corner-
drifted,
if you
the
go
corner
at
has
an
to-
angle, the corner got time to come under and
Yes.
make the play.
You
But
know,
if
it
you
does.
flatten it out, now he gotta
He's gotta go
change
farther
it.
to get
It's
to
so
the ball.
funny. I think as fans, we don't think about little things like that very often.
It
Well,
killed.
I know
As
regular
a
fans.
cornerback, I used to be
Tyvis,
like,
that's your
"Dang."
expertise. Most people didn't play at a high level
And
like
that's
you
so
did.
fixable.
It is. He needs to
That's
flatten it.
just
But
focus on the route.
in all fairness, Deshaun Watson also got to throw that ball
Sure.
towards the sideline more.
But doesn't that, to me, with Elijah Moore drifting on that play, that's in the same, to me, ballpark as when I criticize him for not being able to keep his feet in. It's kind of like focus on the details.
And maybe the reason he has the chemistry he does with Cooper is because Cooper is the tactician.
he is
for
very.
staff.
So it makes
And
me.
so Deshaun knows. I know he's going to be where he's supposed to be because that's who Amari
So
Cooper is.
when I watch the clip, it makes me realize, like, I see why he hesitated a little bit, because he like, oh wait, he ain't flat yet. Okay, let me adjust it. Now let me make the throw.
Right.
So I get what he was seeing. So Elijah Moore, as great as a route runner
you
as
see
he
him drifting.
is, he does have to be. he has to help his quarterback out and run the routes exactly to the
You got
T.
the pick six, Mike, or no?
I also think that
We do have the pick six. if
The
you'd like to
eyes
see
with
that.
Deshaun Watson.
He got to fix that.
He's got it, and that's an easy fix too. Don't stare down your receiver. That's college stuff.
I feel like he always kind of did that, but his arm talent kind of overcame a lot
maybe
of that.
that's what's missing right now in his game. Maybe the corners and the safeties have already decided. Here, some pitchers have what's called a talent.
Yeah, it's on tape.
Some pitchers, when they're going to throw a curveball, and I used to be guilty of this, they're digging, they're gripping, and it could just be something just like this. And the hitters in the dugout say, "Guys, he's digging when he's throwing the curveball."
Can I see that?
When you know what's coming, you have a better chance of stopping it.
Wait a minute,
So
Mike.
Got the play.
Wait a minute. Before we go to the pick six, let me see that first play with Elijah Moore one more time. Because to be honest with you, next level, it doesn't matter where the quarterback's looking. You know where you're supposed to look as a safety? You're supposed to look at his shoulder tip. If his shoulder tip is going to, and his shoulders is pointing to where he's going anyway. So if I'm a safety, I'm not looking at his eyes, even if he is down the middle.
It could be something as
look at the
small.
front shoulder. The front shoulder tell you exactly where he's going every time, and he's looking
and
that
to
way.
that point, we're talking about Deshaun Watson. He looks physically the same. His arm is still clearly strong.
Yes.
I'm wondering if this isn't a case where he's telling where he's going the second he hits the pocket. If that's the case, of course his completion percentage would go down. Of course he'd be more prone to throw interceptions.
Yeah.
Because the defense knows the second he hits his drop where the ball's going.
Yeah, top of the hitch, usually quarterbacks is going there. If it's a timing thing, if it's all about timing, when a quarterback takes his 3-step drop, he go boom, 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 and he hitches up, that's where the ball is going typically 9 times out of 10 because that's timing. If it's not that and he's truly reading the thing, then you got time to look at your safeties, which you should be doing anyways. You should be looking, digesting what coverage they're in. Then you say in your mind, okay, they're in cover 2, let me work the middle. Or if it's one high, all right, then I got the outside. So that's typically how you can look off of.
Have you noticed, because now I'll watch the game much differently on Sunday. I'm going to start looking. Is he telling on every drop back? Have you noticed that he is going through his progressions or looking 1, 2, 3?
He's on and off with it. Like I say, when it's a timing route, he's not going to do that because he just knows where to go with the ball. If he's trying to figure out where he go with the ball, because that's the thing. These defenses are disguising what it is now. So you have to know coming into it, all right, if it's cover 1, this is where I'm supposed to go with the ball. If it's cover 2, this is where I'm going with the ball. But I don't know until after I snap the ball. You got to look at the down safety. If the down safety drops in the box, cover 1 or cover 3. If he stays high and you got 2 on the roof, it's cover 2.
Is the safety his tell?
That's every quarterback's tell. So they're always looking at the safety.
He's watching the safety.
Yeah.
And kind of already processing, okay,
yeah, that's why
dropped down.
That's
now
why
as
a safety, they say don't move, hold it as long as you can, but you can't hold it enough that you can't do your responsibility.
Yeah.
Because if you just stand there and don't do nothing, he won't know what you
know
in.
when on the timeline of when defenses started giving pre-snap reads, do you know when that became the norm? For teams to give a read and immediately, either a second before or at the snap of the ball, they go into what they really want, whether it's dropping a defensive end or whether it's bringing a safety.
I don't know when it became a thing, but I know as a player, the best way to do it and the best way really to do it is always to look at the clock, the play clock. If you go to a stadium, it's a play clock behind you that the quarterback can see, and it's a play clock that you can see on the defensive side of the ball. Typically, you want to move, especially if it's a blitz on, you hold that blitz until that clock gets to about 5 or 4 seconds. Because if you get that low, he can't change the play. Right. He has to run it. So you wait till about 5 or 4 seconds, boom, get to where you're going to get, because at that point it's too late.
I mean, that's the game right there, is the offense trying to figure out what the call is from the defense.
And
the defense waiting as late as possible to show their hand. Eventually, they always have to show it.
Yeah.
But it's how long can you wait? Do we have the clip now?
And we've had the pick six ready forever. We also have another play from Deshaun Watson that highlights the opposite of what you're just talking about. Maybe his best throw as a Brown. Tyvis, you ready to break down maybe his best throw as a Brown to Amari Cooper?
Yeah, let's see it. This is the one nice on the side. So boom, 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 boom. He knows
This was
exactly
a
where
great
he's
throw.
going. He knew exactly where he was going on this route. He's going to Amari Cooper right away. He throws a
That's
nice.
a big third down conversion.
Is there any way to see it a
Because
little
if you
bigger?
got to have it, you go into the guy that you trust and you work with the most. Right there, back shoulder fade.
Yeah.
The corner's on top. He sees that the corner's on top. What do you throw? Back shoulder fade. This is the best throw. So it tells you he got the arm talent. He trusted his guys
And look at
to make a
Cooper with
play.
the footwork, too.
Obviously,
Right.
1-2.
An absolute
Elijah Moore
tactician.
probably steps out on that play.
So he got it. He got what it takes. Like
He's
this right here
only
tells
having
you.
success on the sidelines with Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
That's it. Everybody else.
He's only having success with Amari Cooper,
Yeah, pretty much.
period.
Yeah.
And I get it. Like
Yeah.
Amari Cooper is a timing thing. Like I just told you exactly what he do. If it's going to Amari Cooper for some odd reason, it's always timing. Maybe because Amari Cooper don't have a long speed anymore.
Yeah.
And they know Amari Cooper.
plus yards in this game. I would
What are they
think.
ranked 31st
So you
or
saying
29th?
you saying I should start
28th
him
in
against?
pass
28th in pass defense,
should.
the Titans.
No, you
That is
shouldn't.
correct.
All right, let's see the pick and let's
We
see
have
who
the
we
pick
blame
6
more.
now. Tyvis, if you want to explain, we have two angles. You just tell us what you want.
It's a catch. I mean, he should have caught this ball. Look, that
can't tell
ball.
from that
Listen,
angle.
the ball is right here. It's right here. Like
That angle's
that's
useless. I
not
can't see
terrible.
anything.
That's not a terrible route.
see the other
I mean,
angle.
not a terrible ball. He should make this catch. Like, stop it.
Yeah, that one we don't.
That one you can't
It's
see it close
hard.
enough.
It happens
It's like
too
my
fast.
eye doesn't go to where the ball's going quick enough.
Like I get that you expect the ball right there, but like he could catch.
I think he should have caught
He
it,
could catch
but
that.
I think the throw could have been better.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm saying Harrison Bryant could catch that
So
ball.
your
and that should be a
percentage is
catch.
percentage of
Can
blame.
I ask this?
Guys.
So you
What is
had
70-30 Harrison Bryant.
you had 7+ days to get ready for your first offensive play against Pittsburgh, and you drew it up to your third string tight end, or I guess your second string tight end. Like,
What was the personnel there? Was it Njoku he had on that?
I don't think
There
he
was
was.
3 tight ends in.
Oh, there were
It
3
was-
tight ends on that
Yeah, I
play?
mean, I don't think the play was designed for Harrison Bryant. I'm actually almost confident. It
I
wasn't
mean,
designed.
No, I don't
all
think it
that
wasn't.
is
It
all
happened
that play
fast.
is spacing. That's spacing
Yeah, he
right
just
there.
took the read.
It's
Wasn't-
spacing
That
is
was
That-
so
that
that was the
Stefanski.
timing play.
No, it is because spacing is the first guy goes to the flats, the second tight end goes and does a 5-yard out, the third one does a 5-yard out, and whoever gets open out of those two, because one of them's going to outflank, you hit that guy.
So it wasn't like the first play was designed specifically for Harrison
No,
Bryant.
you got to
just
read
happened
it.
to
You
be
got to
the guy
read
He
it.
got open.
Yeah, you got to read it, and you let
it
it
was
go.
a bad throw and a bad catch.
That's a terrible throw.
I think they both deserve blame.
Subpar.
70-30, 70-30. But
He
you know,
could have caught it. It wasn't a
You
good
know what?
throw,
I'm
but
going to
that play
flip
was
flop
not
on this
designed
because
for
Tyvis would know better than me, so I'm going with
the
him.
ball was right there. Like, stop it.
The
But you
play
know
was
what?
definitely not designed for Bryant. That was just the read that Deshaun Watson took from what the Steelers'
And that's
defensive
why,
positioning was.
ultimately, Mike, when people go bananas about play calling, it's crazy because on many plays there's multiple options. That's ultimate.
Well, I
it's
think-
not, it's
yeah,
not
if it's
Kevin
not a-
Stefanski's decision where Deshaun Watson throws
On
the ball.
most passing plays, there are multiple options.
Right.
Depending on the coverage.
Yes, depending on
you
what
gotta
they're showing,
dissect the
but-
coverage, and you should know where to go because
Right.
due to the coverage, is certain routes in that or concepts
going
that's
to be
not
more
it's
open.
not going to be there.
Right.
You cannot throw this ball because it should be covered unless that corner completely busts the coverage and that gets wide open. But for the most part, when you see the coverage, you dissect what it is. There's a certain point. It's a couple of options. You got 1, 2. Check down. There's 1, 2 check down. Typically every play. You got 1 read, 2 read. If it's not there, throw the check down.
So when you see fans on Twitter saying the play calling sucks, is that insane? Is there some credibility to
I
it?
mean, like the speed option on 4th and 1 is ludicrous.
Okay, fair enough.
Ludicrous.
Fair
but
enough.
for the most part, sometimes when I look at play calling, they be like, it's the play calling, it doesn't work. If the route doesn't work, I think is the receiver not getting open. That's part of it. Because if they ran a route and he not winning his routes and the corner's that good, obviously he ain't got nobody to go to. And then 2, did the quarterback make the right read?
That's right.
Because that's part of coaching as well. You need to coach him so he can see it. He should have an idea coming into there. 1st and 2nd down, they run this. 3rd down, it all changes. They run these things on 3rd down. When you get to these downs, you should be expecting this. If he doesn't know what to expect, that's terrible coaching.
So it's in the end absurd for
You can't just blame
a fan to just randomly blame the play.
Right.
call.
No.
Well, on
Outside
some
of a play
specific
here or
plays,
there.
yeah, on some-
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, a guy hit me on Twitter and told me to dissect this route where it was a chip by Njoku, and the concept looked like it should have been a double follow. But the problem is Njoku had the
What does
chip.
that mean, a double follow?
Double follow means that it's like a pair, so they like bunched up.
Okay.
And the first guy runs an over route. The second guy runs out and then cuts back in. It's like an angle. It runs an angle route. It works typically against cover 3 because they isolate that buzzer. That first guy is going to take that hook dropper, and then when the buzzer is going to think that he's running out, he's going to put his foot in the ground and come back. Nobody should be in that area. He should be able to hit it right there. Works a lot on third down.
Okay.
Big third and short route.
What's your next play? You got more, right?
We do have one more play, and for everyone in the chat asking if we could take these full, just to bring you guys behind the scenes, legally speaking, we cannot show those plays full screen. But if I tweet them out, I can show them. It makes no sense. Legally, we cannot show those plays full screen, but if I tweet them and through our system, that's as big as it can
Blame
go
the NFL.
through tag board. It is literally the NFL's fault. It's stupid, but legally speaking, I don't want to get sued by the NFL.
So we can take it anything but all the way full.
Well, we just, in the system, it doesn't go bigger than that. That is as big as tag board gets in the system.
Because technically you can show a play from a tweet, but you can't show a play like from the TV.
Exactly. It makes no
I've
sense.
ever heard.
It makes
It's
no
stupid.
sense.
It
So
really
just so
is.
you guys know, it is not us. It is literally the NFL.
Yeah.
Because I can't see it either.
It's hard.
And if you're
Tyvis-
watching on a phone, you have no chance.
Yeah, it's tough. It is. It's the best we got, unfortunately. Tyvis, you played defensive back.
I
You
did.
played alongside this next player in college, and Denzel Ward did something pretty damn
He
spectacular.
was a young guy at this
on,
time. Yeah,
on
young
Monday
pup.
night. So you want to break down Denzel Ward defending this slant route
Yes.
as only you can.
This one right here was next level, because the challenge to all of this is when you get that receiver that steps up on you and then shakes, it's very tough. But Denzel sits in there, which is something that Richard Sherman used to tell you. You got to sit in there on that route and understand, don't let them threaten you. If they're not threatening you and getting outside of your frame, you stay inside of that the whole time. Denzel does a great job sitting in there, boom. Pivots off and really gets his hand around there to get that PBU. Now, don't get me wrong. The ball was thrown a little bit behind, but I'm not going to take nothing away from Denzel. That's next level right there. Allen Robinson, yes, he's not what he used to be, but he's still a pretty productive wide receiver. That is a great play by Denzel. I mean, his acceleration on the ball. Like that.
Was if Denzel Ward doesn't get his hand on the ball and Robinson catches the ball, that might be a 90-yard touchdown. Because there's only one player back, right?
Yeah, the
if
safety.
he gets past the safety,
Is
and
that-
the safeties, if you look at it, the safeties, it seems like he's kind of flat-footed at that point, and Robinson's moving. So if he catches that ball,
Dang, that boy good.
that might be a 90-yard touchdown if Ward does not make that play.
Oh, my gosh.
That's a great instinctual play.
And also to avoid any kind of pass interference coming over his back.
Yeah.
Because his right hand
was
is
perfect.
behind Robinson, and oftentimes you'll see the corner sort of grab or pull or try to get a hold of that back a little bit and slow him down, but he didn't do that.
Tyvis, speaking of which.
It's reps like that I see why he got paid.
I gotta ask
that's
you,
$100
that's
million.
special,
That's
isn't
$100 million because that's third. This is probably third and
It
short.
was third and short.
And that
It was.
you got to have it.
It was.
It was second and short, by the way.
I thought it was third.
Grant Delpit picked off Kenny Pickett the very
Oh,
next
yeah.
play.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Let me ask you
He had
this,
another
Travis.
play similar to that was the third down stop.
In the third quarter,
Yeah.
yes.
Last week on Friday, we did a draft where we picked the 10 best players in that Steeler-Brown game. Going into that game. And Jay, I can't remember if it was Jay. It was definitely Jason. It was definitely the behind-the-scenes guys, and it might have been Jay also, were arguing that Martin Emerson Jr. is better than Denzel Ward. Were you part of that team?
Jason and I took in the draft. I had Martin and then Denzel in my draft.
So
And
everybody here besides me had Emerson, or maybe G.
no, it was 2-2, and they broke the tie.
That's
They
right.
went with Martin
G
Emerson.
and I said Ward is better.
Okay.
Jason and I said
Jason and
Martin.
the guys behind the scenes went Emerson.
So-
And the
I
producers
personally
went
don't
Martin.
think at this point it's that close.
So-
I think Ward's way ahead.
So
What say you?
I get why Martin Emerson is special. Martin Emerson will be a really good football player in this league. The difference between Martin and Denzel, and no, I know I ain't even got to look at the chat, but I know people are going to durability. That's not the answer. The difference between the two.
No, that's part of the equation. then.
Listen,
That's in Emerson's favor.
Listen,
Sure.
Absolutely.
The difference between is the athleticism. Denzel's athleticism is off the charts. I mean, he is the speed.
He just proved it.
The not afraid to come up. I mean, he forced a fumble last Monday. This guy comes up. He got them reps where he's a very bendy guy. He just does freakish things.
Right.
Where Martin Emerson, he is he's a big corner and he uses his size and he plays the ball really well. I would think that longevity-wise, as long as Denzel stays athletic, he will be what he is because there's nobody can really
I'm
match.
worried,
You
though,
can't.
I'm
You
worried about
can't.
the durability.
You
though.
can't. The durability is
I mean,
the
you
only
get
thing.
2 more concussions this year. You're starting to think about the end.
I wonder what helmet he's using because
I don't know.
they come out with different helmets every year for like this one's supposed to protect you the most from concussions, and I wonder if he's upgrading his helmet every year.
I would think he's got the best available.
Well, it's a lot of guys that's like, listen, this is the helmet that I like, and I'm not changing it.
Well, my goodness, that's crazy.
But Tyvis, if you went to every NFL DC right now and said for the rest of the year, would you rather have Denzel Ward or Martin Emerson? Would any defensive coordinator in the NFL you think take Emerson over Ward?
For the rest of this season.
Just this season.
Yeah, that's different.
For the rest of this
Well,
season,
different
no, because Denzel's playing at an all-pro level right now.
Yeah, but here's what was in my mind. Denzel last year took a big step back.
He did.
A big step back.
He did.
And I can't forget that.
Now,
I mean, I don't know what was going on. I don't.
He had did he have
Are
the
Jay,
assignment
Jason, and the
on
behind-the-scenes guys ready to apologize?
Absolutely not.
We have proof. Tyvis said it's not
when they
proof.
had when they played Cincinnati, did Denzel
It's not
shadow?
proof.
Fair, not proof.
This-
We have as an educated opinion.
So now
as we
it's
possibly
3-3.
Do anybody know that if Cincinnati did Denzel shadow Jamar Chase that game?
He stayed on one side. And they didn't do this last year. Last year, they were going all over. I didn't know where the hell they were playing.
Yeah,
But
they playing
against
sides.
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, they're staying on a side. They're picking their side, and they're staying on it for the most part.
Okay.
Which I thought was interesting. So, I mean, the one thing that gives the offensive coordinator the advantage on, if you don't want to throw to Denzel, and you know he's always on the left.
But Denzel has to get picks before that happens. They're not.
I know, but I'm just talking about. I'm not talking about like staying away from him because I'm talking about you want to complete passes, and if Chase is your best option to do that, and Denzel is always lining up on the left, well, then the offensive coordinator can fix that.
Well, I have your numbers, Jay.
What is it?
Jamar Chase was targeted 3 times in coverage against Denzel Ward. 1 reception for 4 yards.
Okay.
He was targeted twice against Martin Emerson. No catches, no yards.
Well, that proves it. Science.
In week
That
2,
doesn't prove it.
in week 2, hold on. In week 2,
I'm kidding.
George Pickens, when matched up against Denzel Ward, 5 targets, 3 catches, 104 yards, including that 71-yard touchdown.
Uh-oh.
I don't like that one because
I didn't either, but
Martin Emerson, he was targeted twice all game. No receptions.
So they were playing both sides. They were playing.
Yeah,
I wonder.
Well, no, because the receiver could have been moving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, he's saying.
Sorry, let me clarify what I meant.
Yeah.
The DBs played side.
I'm saying they played their own side.
Yeah.
I wonder if they'll continue. Like a team like Tennessee, they got Treylon Burks, nice player, good young player.
They don't have anybody like Chase or like
Hopkins.
Pickens.
They got Hopkins.
Like Pickens.
Yeah,
Well, no, you're right.
Wait a second.
I tried to write him off.
Is Pickens better than Treylon Burks?
Yes.
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 He is?
Yes,
Who
absolutely.
was drafted higher last year?
That doesn't prove anything.
Pickens did.
I don't even think.
No, I think they went both second round, didn't they?
Well, what was their production last
Well,
year?
it
no,
doesn't
no.
prove
First-round pick.
anything.
No, but you're asking.
Burks went in the first round?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah.
But no, I
But
just.
how do we know Pickens is better? What was the production?
Yeah, let's look at the
I'm going to
production.
compare them right now. Give me 1 sec.
Burks
I mean,
may
and
miss some time last
again,
year.
I'm
Burks
just
got
going
hurt
off the
last
eye
year.
test now. Again,
Yeah, but how much have you watched Burks? I've barely
I've seen him a handful of times last year. I did watch
have the numbers.
Jacoby Brissett when Jacoby was starting for them. I watched those
mean
games.
Josh Dobbs.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Yeah, but he only started 1 game, I think.
Bull, George
No, he-
Pickens, statistically speaking,
Yeah.
has been significantly better.
Yeah, I
Well,
don't
he
even
played
think
1
it's-
year,
seasons.
Mike.
Well, that's all we have.
Well, I mean,
Didn't
they both
Burks
played
miss
1 year.
time?
Maybe
Burks
one-
has played
Burks-
15 games. Pickens has played 19. Pickens has 61 catches. Burks has 38. Pickens has 964 yards. Burks has 538.
I'm about to
Pickens
say.
has 5 touchdowns. Burks
It's
has
way
1.
too early to decide who's better.
I was saying
And-
who's been better.
Well,
you
I
asked.
mean, we don't
It's
know.
pretty
Well,
obvious Pickens
hold
has
on,
been better.
hold on. Tennessee also is a much more run-heavy team than Pittsburgh.
That's true.
They are, but I mean,
A.J. Brown was eating over there.
I wonder if he just
Got him with that one.
Yeah, no, that's-
Got him with that.
pause.
No, it's absurd to definitively say one guy is better than the other. Well, nobody's watched Treylon Burks play much. Jay, how many games have you seen him play? 2?
Everything
Come on.
we say,
But
Okay.
you looked at me like I was insane for saying Treylon Burks is
And
better.
so did he.
He was a first-round pick.
I know he was a first-round pick.
Yeah.
So was Johnny Manziel.
I know that, but still.
The last thing I'm
your
going to
first
do.
round
But
pick
Johnny
don't mean
Manziel,
anything.
we didn't write him off till
Hold on.
a little time.
The last thing I'm going to do is decide a player is better or not based on where they were drafted.
I'm not deciding that,
So
Jay.
what we have is production.
I know, but it's not that big a difference at this point that it's a short. You say it like it's a
wait
short
minute.
thing.
It's not that big of a difference, but it is.
I have 2 announcements.
We've got a 19 games and 15 games, and one of them has nearly 1,000 yards, and one of them has 500 yards.
Is all I'm saying.
All right, we're going to move on, but Tyvis, you have 2 announcements real quick.
I
What's
got
up?
two small announcements.
Yeah.
One, Jordan Schultz came out and said that Kareem Hunt will be getting snaps in week 3. And
Nice.
my wife wants you guys to know that the People magazine said that Jason Kelce didn't confirm Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are dating. That's
I'm not buying it completely. Mike said it's real.
Mike, yeah, on our call, let's catch our viewers up.
The last thing.
On the call, Mike
gotta
told
go
us
quick 'cause we gotta
we're going to
get
start
PFF
the show
before
with
Aditi.
confirmation from Jason Kelce that Travis, his
I don't
brother,
buy that.
is dating Taylor Swift. But
I don't believe it.
I got the text from upstairs, like not technically upstairs, but the people above me saying, "What are you doing with this on the show today?" And sent me the audio clip.
I don't believe it.
Who asked you that out of curiosity?
I'll tell you off air.
Okay, you
Mike,
got me in my ear.
There's no proof. I don't believe. Jason Kelce messes around all the time.
All the time.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
these guys are such cards
And Jason
cut-ups.
Jason Lloyd agrees with me. He says that the pick 6 is on Harrison Bryant. Thank you, Jason. You're
Now,
a
wait a
great
minute.
man. You know
now that
football.
is a science.
Jason
know
still
football.
thinks Jedrick Wills is an average left tackle.
You know
so-
what? Yesterday I was watching Jason on Channel 3 on their their game wrap up with Nick Camino, and he said they were talking about the rookie DeJuan Jones, and he goes, "Listen, I know Brian Baldinger's out there breaking down tape saying that he was good. He has all kinds of issues." I mean, he was really hard on
Jedrick
DeJuan
Wills
Jones
is a lot
yesterday.
worse, and he's in the league 5 years.
Yeah, he was burying the lead.
Yeah.
DeJuan Jones may have had issues, but Jed Wills.
DeJuan Jones is a fifth-round
Bucky,
rookie.
I
Of
mean,
course he's gonna have issues.
Hold on. Mike just tore his rotator cuff trying to get us to move
Why are
on.
you so worked up?
I know. It's like,
If
is
we
it
don't start this PFF
12:55?
thing, we're never going to get to it, and Aditi's on at 12:30, and we
If
can't
we
book
don't get all the
Aditi.
PFF
tore
grades,
his
all right, we're having this
rotator
conversation.
cuff.
Yep, let's go to the
Swinging.
PFF grades.
All right, let's do it.
PFF grades are tied
Go ahead,
directly to DeJuan
McNuggets.
Jones and Jed Wills, so we're going to get that in. And also tonight, 7
We need the
o'clock,
sticks for that.
Behind the Glass. You do need the sticks. Earl, you're going to run with the sticks.
I want nothing more now, by the way, that Treylon Burks have a better career to Pickens. For
Good
you guys
luck with that.
I have 4
Dismissing
people talking
Treylon
to me. I'm
Burks
not
out of
quite
hand.
sure
Well,
what anyone's
once
saying.
Will Levis takes
Even
over.
the numbers
7
are not
o'clock
fair
behind the glass, we'll
because
see
the
that.
Titans throw the ball way less.
I'm certainly not going to dismiss him out of hand. I'm saying he's a
did.
formidable
You
wide
did.
receiver. No, I said he's not George Pickens.
We don't know that yet.
The body of we've
It's
got
not enough work.
19 games
It's
and
not
50.
apples to apples. So one team throws the ball a lot more.
Get them, grab them.
The Steelers throw the ball a lot.
Got
The
it.
Titans don't.
Maybe if the Titans had George Pickens, they'd throw it more.
Maybe the
don't know.
George Pickens, he being asked to be the number 1 wide receiver before last week.
He's their number 1 wide receiver.
He was not last year their number
I
1
mean,
wide receiver.
Deontay Johnson catches a lot of passes, but he doesn't catch
Jay,
touchdowns.
There's zero discussion.
It's not his thing.
Go.
Deontay Johnson.
Jerry.
Deontay Johnson was the Steelers' number 1 receiver.
Hey,
There's no debating.
I got an idea.
Jerry.
Let's ask the
The
do
chat?
a YouTube poll.
The
Who's
chat?
the better player?
George Pickens is what they're going to say.
I mean, that one's not even hard for me.
Jerry.
Okay, let's go.
Jerry.
Are you saying it's apples to apples, the two of them? It's not, clearly.
I just came from my beads.
Last
Clearly
week,
not.
we did the eye test versus the PFF
All right,
test.
spit it out. Let's go. Let's go. This is the introduction.
He
Let's go.
I'm going to give you 2 players,
He's
and you tell
testy
me
now.
who graded higher
Testy.
in PFF. All right, you guys ready? These are all from Monday Night Football.
How
Who
come
graded
Mike says it's a
higher
fast
according
read?
to
I got to do a PCC read. Just do the PCC read. You don't have to tell us you can do a PCC read. Let's go.
He is hot.
Well, I wouldn't have to tell you, but as soon as I start talking, y'all
I
interrupt.
can't hear anything
so
you're
I have
saying
to
anyway.
let you
Let's
know
go.
what I'm doing so you don't interrupt. First one, who graded higher on Monday Night Football? Mo Hurst or Larry Ogunjobi? Give me the happy face if it's the Brown. Give me the mad face if you think it's the Steeler. Mo Hurst or Larry Ogunjobi?
I'm going Ogunjobi. He had bigger play. He had a couple of big plays.
Yeah, but he had more plays.
Yeah, that's true. So you're going. Oh, you're going for
So
the
we have
Browns.
2 for
You're going
Hurst.
I
Hurst.
understand how Mike's brain works.
I'm about to say.
Yeah, I know. He set us up.
Because
Set
you
us up.
guys are all suckers.
Did have a lot of plays.
You're going to, Larry Ogunjobi made 2 plays.
No.
You don't even know if he got his ass kicked the other 70
Here's
plays.
the thing. I'm only going to
I know
answer by
Jay
the eye
has
test.
broken down the Treylon Burks tape here.
So have you. So have you.
I'm not claiming to.
I watched the
I'm
whole
saying it's up to the
game.
air.
How are we arguing over two people that have
Traylon
nothing
Burks.
to
That's
do with
not
the
an
Browns?
argument.
Traylon Burks.
So one
Traylon
day he's
Burks.
going to look back and say, I can't believe I said
be
Burks.
laughing.
He is
better
gonna
than
do
George
that.
Pickens.
I did not say he was better. I said it's undetermined
You
yet.
said which one's the better player?
I said it's...
I just want to
and I
know
didn't give an answer. I said
who
it's
got the higher
undetermined yet.
PFF grade.
Let's
That's
go.
all I want to know.
I'm
The
saying-
reveal,
I'm
and it's
saying-
not close. Mo Hurst significantly.
I told you.
I knew it.
Well, you
Upgraded.
jumped into his brain.
I know.
I'm going to just answer
I
based
knew
on what
it.
I think.
I
What I
jumped into
think.
Mike's brain.
That is 1-4.
See, I
well, we're not
give
keeping
a lot
score,
of
but
points
that's
for
one
big
for
plays.
I do too, but
and
the PFF does not.
It's just
Yeah.
another play.
Yeah.
But that's not the way you do it. I want Reggie Jackson hitting a
How do
home
you
run.
know they don't do that for big plays?
No, they don't.
don't.
Every play is
Yeah.
weighted the same. And that's a mistake on that.
I don't buy that.
All right, next up, who graded higher on Monday Night Football? Deshaun Watson or Kenny Pickett? Happy face for
They
Deshaun.
both stunk it up.
Mad face for Kenny Pickett.
I'm going to say that slightly. Like
We got
very
two happy
slightly.
faces, and Bull is trying to think
They
how I
were
would
both
trick him.
horrible.
They were.
I actually.
Wait a minute.
But I'm going with Kenny Stickett. Here we go.
So the opposite of the results last time. The reveals, Mike, it was Deshaun Watson. Almost doubled up Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go.
2-0.
I'm surprised you won't pick. You hate Kenny Pickett, man.
I know. I'm just. I blew that
has-
one because I was trying to get in Mike's head again. And it doesn't
Don't.
work.
Just go by what you think.
All right.
In,
That-
the,
I-
in the words
Fair
of
enough,
Stephen
that's a
A.
good call.
Smith, he has small hands.
All right, two guys who both made a big impact on Monday Night Football. Zadarius Smith for the Browns, Alex Highsmith for the
See,
Steelers.
now, I do think this is a sucker question.
I thought they both played
I
well.
thought they both played well, but again, I thought Highsmith made the huge play in the huge moment.
I'm gonna say
But
the
it just
Steelers.
counts for any other play, so I'm going Zadarius Smith.
1 for Zadarius and 2 for Alex Highsmith. The result, the second highest graded player in the entire game was
3-0.
Alex
I
Highsmith.
should have
didn't
used
listen
my
to me.
rule.
Yeah, you
I
didn't
should have
listen
used
to
my
your
own
rule.
rule. But I went with
You advised me. I took your advice on that one.
and you got it right, and
I
I
got it
went
right.
to your advice and I got it wrong. All right.
All right. Next.
You guys like this one. David Bell or George Pickens? Who graded higher?
Oh, that's easy. David Bell.
2 for David Bell, 1 for George Pickens. Is Tyvis finally wrong, or will his undefeated streak continue?
Yeah.
David Bell.
So close.
Pickens.
Graded higher.
First of all, Pickens. What did he do besides that one big catch?
Nothing. Well, he had a couple of catches.
I'm saying,
And he was.
But you know, that's like saying, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, did you enjoy the
what
play?
did David Bell
You've been
do?
saying the same thing about Jerome Ford. What did he do besides that one play?
You did?
Fair. I did. You're
I
absolutely
finally
right.
got you on that one.
Listen, when you're making a case for your guy, you can use that. When a case is being made not for your guy, you can't use that.
That's good.
Before we move on, real quick, we talked about last week PFS grading scale, a high 70, low 80.
That's
is
good.
A very good performance.
Very good.
Did you watch that game and leave saying David Bell played really well?
You know what? David Bell, I was kind of making fun of him yesterday because
Yeah.
there were certain plays where he was asked to be the chipper,
Yeah.
and he did a terrible job. But there were a lot of other plays where David Bell's blocking was very, very good.
And didn't he catch all of his targets?
He did.
I think they threw it to him 2 or 3 times, and he
I tell you
didn't
what,
drop any.
Deshaun trusts him because although he's not a guy that nobody talks about, Deshaun, every time he's in the game, he gets
Yeah.
He gets
he's
a target.
obviously-
Well, he only got 1 target in week 1, and he dropped it. And it was
How many
and that
targets-
was
how many
that
targets do you
told
have,
what he
Mike?
needed
4?
to know.
I'm looking up right now.
I'd say 4 and 3 catches.
Some guy, Cedric Tillman, gets it done.
He's on a milk carton, bro. Is he still on the team?
David Bell, 3 targets, 3 catches. I actually made
Nice.
a note watching the game that after noticing how the lack of timing and chemistry between Moore and Watson just needs to be off by a step.
Yeah.
I think Bell, right under Cooper, is the guy that he actually has his best natural chemistry with.
I think it's
I-
so funny.
You're probably
the
right.
whole summer, people were talking about his chemistry with Elijah Moore. I think he's got the worst chemistry with Elijah Moore right now.
I just pointed it
Right.
out.
Well, it might be because he's not where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be
That's
there.
part of
Maybe
it.
that's why he struggled with the Jets.
Perhaps.
And not because Zach Wilson sucks.
Look, that's
Well, he's
entirely
tough.
possible. OBJ wasn't a tactician route runner.
No, that's what. Next one.
Yeah,
We
don't
ain't
even
gonna
bring
get
up
it.
the
Don't-
name,
don't-
bro.
Second, speaking of dating, he's dating Kim Kardashian apparently.
No, he's not.
He
Odell.
is. That was
Isn't that
reported
just
yesterday.
No, they said that they
they're
were
hanging out.
hanging
They're
out.
hanging
I
out.
think
Well, you know what that
He's
means.
still with his baby mother.
Dude, Odell doesn't hang out with women just to hang out. I mean, are you serious?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Come on now.
Before we get to the next one, I have a stat for you guys. PFF just tweeted this out. The Cleveland Browns have only allowed 14 first downs through 2 games.
That's fewest in the NFL.
The league average is 36.2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is an elite defense. They played well enough to win on Monday night.
And they couldn't do it.
They couldn't do it.
The Steelers never had the ball inside the Browns' 30-yard line.
The snap they took closest to the end zone was the 31.
Yeah, it's
How do you
absurd.
lose a game in that situation?
The defense
Give it away.
The offense gives the defense 2 touchdowns.
Give it
That's
away.
the only way you do it.
If they just protect the football,
That's it.
It's 13-0.
That's it.
Imagine you, really quick, imagine you were in a coma, you woke up, and I said, Jay, welcome back from your coma. Let me tell you 2 facts about the Browns-Steelers game.
I'm glad you're okay, buddy. I've got 2 stats for you.
You're gonna say I'm
The
going back to
Steelers
the
never
coma.
ran a play inside the Browns' 30.
Yeah, that's a win.
And the Steelers had -7 offensive yards in the fourth quarter.
Browns are
Who won the
2-0.
game?
Browns are 2-0.
You would have bet your entire life savings.
I would have said if I'm wrong, I go back into a coma forever.
You'll be
and
night.
that would be it.
What are the odds of that?
It's
gonna be
almost
1,000,000 to
well,
1.
it hasn't happened this century.
I'm going.
It hasn't happened
The
this
next
century.
one, I'm going with Pittsburgh, no matter what.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, next up is the battle of the left tackles. Jed Wills or Dan Moore? Who graded out higher?
I ain't switching my answer.
You're not?
I'm going. I said I'm going. I'm going with the Pittsburgh.
Who had
no
the
matter
better
what.
grade?
I don't even
The
know.
higher grade, Jed Wills
They
or Dan
both
Moore?
stink. I think they're
Yeah,
2
they
of the 4.
do stink, but
I gotta stand on what I said.
I'm staying Browns.
I guess I'll say more.
Yeah, I'm jumping
So
in his head.
2 for Moore, 1 for Wills.
jumping in
I'm
his
not
head.
going to reveal this yet. I'm going to tell you, the loser of this one had the single lowest PFF grade they have charted in 5 seasons.
It's gonna be
wow.
more.
Maybe
It's gonna
it
be
is.
more.
Single lowest PFF grade in 5 seasons.
It's more.
Either
It's-
Jed Wills or Dan Moore had a historically bad PFF performance. And
Miles
the answer,
No, I'm going to change it because I would have heard by now if Jed Wills set the new record.
the answer was Dan Moore.
Yeah.
With a 15.8.
No! Ball could have got a 31
I'm not kidding.
with no practice.
I am not kidding.
How do you get a 15, Den?
I am not.
Wait,
I'm serious.
that's
It's
a
not.
lie.
40 sacks.
There's
It's
no
that
way.
bad.
Miles Garrett had 1 tackle with 1 pressure. Like, how did this happen?
I don't think he was. Oh, yeah, he was going up against the left
I'm not.
tackle.
What?
Like I said, I'm being dead serious. This is not a joke.
I feel like we need to bring on.
I gotta
a
go watch
PFF
it again.
guy to explain how these grades work.
Miles Garrett must have just been in the backfield and just didn't get there every time. Like that
So
must
his
be what it is.
splits, by the way.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
His run block grade, and Anthony, you're right here. Anthony will confirm to look. His run block grade was a 30. His pass block grade was a 3.5.
His rate.
So he
A
lost every play.
traffic cone can get a 3.5.
Anthony, will you get on the mic and confirm for me so they know I'm not lying?
I can confirm Mike is not on drugs.
So
a
how did he not have more
3.5.
sacks?
You know what?
I don't understand that.
Somebody has it in for Dan Moore
Yeah.
at PFF.
He's an Aggie. He's one of the nicest guys I've ever met.
A 3.5?
That's why he's not good at football.
What were
Come
Jedrick
on.
Wills' splits, Mike?
I got to pull it up. Give me 1
He
second.
got a 15.
3.5, bro, in pass block.
Oh my God.
Okay, then
That's got to be a typo.
No,
and Miles Garrett had 1 tackle.
That's what I'm saying.
understand.
What
We're
happened
going to get to Miles
there?
Garrett next. Jed Wills breakdown, by the way. So he had a 50.7 overall,
Which is horrible.
a 49.4 run block grade, and a 58.1 pass block grade.
I
Which
think
is
that-
still bad,
they
but
got
not
him
like
confused.
record-breaking.
They got him confused.
Dan Moore, 3.5.
That's
That's
yeah.
like Blutarski in Animal House.
I didn't even think you could do that.
0.00.
If you're significantly worse than Jed Wills, don't you need to retire?
Yes, I don't even know how you're
I
on a
mean,
roster if you're significant. If you're
wow.
that much worse, a 3.5.
Once again,
gotta be a
Tyvis, will you
typo.
admit that Jed Wills looks like a complete slappy, doesn't he?
He does not look great.
I like how he does that. He
All right, we
refuses
got-
to bury someone. He just says, "Well, he doesn't look
trying to
great."
do-
That's
Tyvis
as
gotta-
mean as Tyvis can
trying to
get.
That
do
is.
the Ward
That's his
done.
that's his highest level of meanness.
Doesn't look great.
Is doesn't look great.
Doesn't look great.
we
Go
got
ahead,
a
Mike.
couple more. Who graded higher? Miles Garrett or TJ Watt?
Oh, 100% Miles Garrett. I know
Yeah, it has to
PFF has a
They
crush on
love
Garrett.
Miles Garrett. He'll have one tackle, and they'll give him a 91.
Jay, you probably saw this. If you
I
hadn't,
didn't. I
you're
got
spot
right hand
on.
to God. I haven't seen it. Right, I'm telling you, I have not
91.7.
seen it. Now that to me, I'm sorry. PFF is dead to me. They're dead to me.
I want to bring on somebody to explain.
They're dead to
how
me,
this
bro.
works.
Does John Costco do that? I know we've had John on
They got
before.
a
All
big crush
I
on
think we need
Miles
to get one of the
Garrett.
big wigs there.
They're
don't
dead
we?
to me, bro.
right, we'll work on
Like
that.
Steve
We'll work on that.
Palazzolo
Just
or
tell
the,
it like it
the
is.
Canadian guy. What's his name? Sam Monson. It's always weird when a person from another country talks about the NFL because in
Yeah.
other sports, who cares?
Who's the American talking soccer in England?
Right, it's weird. But
Come on.
there's two guys. There's Sam Monson, who works for PFF, who's Canadian. He's got that thick Canadian accent.
yeah.
And if you're a fantasy guy, Matthew Berry does a fantasy show,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his partner
I know.
is Australian.
Right.
And it's bizarre listening to a guy with an Australian accent talk about football.
I just can't. I can't believe that.
That's crazy times.
And 10 points higher. You know, if you told me Myles Garrett had a 91 and TJ Watt was a 90.5, sure, but 10 points higher, man, TJ Watt was everywhere.
Myles Garrett must have took on that double team and really was effective.
Really effective are digits in a box score to me.
Did they run to the left?
Look, I need plays. I need sacks. I need strip fumble return for touchdown.
Did they run?
Did
they run to the left?
Okay.
That's half the battle.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Who played better Monday night on your eye test, Myles Garrett or T.J. Watt?
You're gonna miss Miles when he's gone.
Listen, I'm saying he's one of the top 5 players defensively in the league.
You're gonna miss him
I'm just saying, who played better Monday night by your eye test?
TJ Watt.
Okay.
think everybody would agree.
That's the whole point of
I
this
think everybody
exercise.
would agree on that.
We got
dump
two
on
more.
PFF.
We got two more. Next
Two more.
up, who played better, Grant Delpit or Minka Fitzpatrick?
Oh, Delpit.
Give me Grant.
We're screwed on this one. There's no way PFF got this right.
Delpit.
I think Grant Delpit's the best player on their
Delpit
defense.
probably
right
had a
now.
90. He should have had a 92.
But watch, PFF is going to get this wrong.
See,
Let's
they haven't
see.
gotten them all
They
wrong.
bet not.
No, this one they nailed.
They got
Okay,
right.
good.
Spot on.
Okay.
Delpit is the
A
second
90 is
highest graded
exceptional.
safety in the NFL through 2 weeks. Behind, it's a name that was linked to Cleveland this summer.
Oh, the guy who used to be on the Eagles?
No.
TJ
Who?
Chauncey Gardner. That was
Bo,
linked.
Bo, this one's near and dear to your heart.
Oh, Jesse Bates.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates is a 93.
Yeah, he's got
Is
all
he
three
really?
start.
Where is he?
And
at
Grant
again?
Delpit
Carolina.
92.2.
Oh, no,
through 2
Falcons.
weeks.
You're right.
Bonds in Carolina.
Von Bell went to Carolina. Yeah.
Eli Apples had an interesting start in Miami.
Don't do that.
I haven't been paying
Yeah.
attention.
Don't do
Is he
that.
bad?
Don't do that.
In the-
No, we ain't gonna talk. Next.
Eli Apple.
Next.
All
No.
right, the last one of our this or that PFF grade game. These are backwards. Did Anthony send them backwards? He sent the reveal twice. So I'm going to give you the two players, and then we'll just
Okay.
show you the reveal.
All right.
Jalen Warren or Elijah Moore?
Jalen Warren.
That's a weird comparison. I thought Jalen Warren played very well. in
I
this
thought
game.
he played well too.
It's gonna be a lot. No,
But
if
you know,
that's-
he's
if that's
comparing
the
these
case,
guys
I
because
just
Moore
said-
is going to be higher.
Let me switch.
was awful.
Let me
Yeah,
switch.
so my
Go ahead.
eyes tell me it was Moore, but I know PFF.
No, your
Warren,
eyes
you
tell
mean.
you
Warren, yeah. But the PFF will tell us Moore had the better game.
Let's see.
Yep.
The answer, Jalen Warren.
Dang.
All right, so there were a
Okay,
lot
they got-
of these that they actually got right.
They did. They got-
based on our eye test.
I think the most egregious thing, though, about the grades was the
3.5.
3.5. I'm
That's
telling you,
absurd.
traffic cone can get a 3.5.
It's egregious.
That's the one.
It's got to be a
I'm trying
typo.
to imagine
I thought
myself.
so too. It had to be 35.0.
There's no way he.
I'm
Like,
trying to
Mr.
imagine
Death
myself
Yeah.
playing left tackle against Myles Garrett. I would probably die. Would I die?
You know, it's
What, if
okay.
you went left tackle
if
against
I
Bob?
played left tackle against
I
Myles
tell you,
Garrett,
Okay.
you'll
would
be
I
like,
die?
you'll see him, his get off the ball and the way he bends. You'll be like, I can't believe that he moving that
You know, I
fast.
probably wouldn't die because he just run around.
Yeah, he run around. He
Okay.
run right past.
He just
you.
run
He
right
run
past
right
me.
past.
Would you
you.
rather
Yeah.
play opposite Myles Garrett for a full quarter
Yes.
or take one punch in the face from Mike Tyson?
Play opposite?
Yeah.
So like play left tackle?
I would definitely rather
Yes.
play Myles
I
Garrett.
definitely do left tackle.
Because Myles Garrett wouldn't punch me in the face, I don't think.
But he gets to beat up on you for a quarter.
yeah, but he would just, it'd be beneficial to him probably to just run around me.
You know what the good news is?
I might take the punch,
No,
guys.
no, you wouldn't.
I
You know-
might.
No, you would. You know why?
Because about the 7-minute mark of the first quarter, you're going to be like, how much time is left?
But the punch you get knocked
Jay,
out.
you're not thinking logically. You're going to go 3 and out, so it's going to be 3 plays. They're going to run the ball on their side.
Okay, 30 plays.
You might get 6 plays in there.
Miles Garrett's
y'all going 3 and out every time.
Miles Garrett's getting like 90 sacks against me.
Can you imagine, though, doing either one of those?
Oh, my God.
Lining up against Miles Garrett?
Tyvis, I have
Or taking a punch from Mike Tyson?
This. If Bull, I love you.
Yeah.
If Bull was to essentially die on a football field.
My God, Mike.
Listen.
I'm in a coma. You're dead. Mike wants to take over the show.
If Bull was to die
All right,
on
if I
the
died
football
on the field.
but was a left tackle, and Miles Garrett had to jump over Bull, lifeless body on the ground, every play, could he get a 3.5? Would he grade higher than Dan Moore if it was just his lifeless body on the ground?
I might.
1.6.
He's slowing him.
Okay,
He's
so
slowing Miles Garrett
next
down.
analogy. So Tyvis gets hit by an airplane.
No, don't put no. I ain't in it.
We're all
And
dead.
Anthony gets run over by a truck.
Would the ghost of Earl be able to slow down Miles Garrett at a higher PFF rate than Dan Moore did?
3.5.
Oh,
I wonder
my
if his
God.
new nickname. Do you remember when I remember it well when Jalen Rose on First Take asked Skip Bayless, "Is it true that you averaged 1.2 points per game your senior year?" And Skip's nickname for a long time was 1.2 in the social media world.
Is it true? I can't
Is
remember.
Moore's new nickname 3.5?
It might be.
That's sad.
I mean,
can't be.
by
the way,
Cannot be
my
right.
son, I want to, before we bring Aditi on, because I know she's coming soon, my son asked me this question the other day, and I was like, I got to ask this on the show real quick when we have a minute. So I'll ask it real quick. He's like, if Messi played against 100 10-year-old, good, solid soccer players, who would win?
Wait, there's 100 of them on the
100 of
field
them.
at one time?
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to win.
All right, Messi and a goalie. Just a random adult goalie.
He got to
No,
go the whole
100.
field
That's
by
200 feet.
himself.
There's no way. That's 200 feet. There's
Messi
you can't
can't.
run through 200.
Hold on,
There's
hold on,
no
hold
way.
on. Messi is going to dribble through those kids
Like they're not even there.
It's not. No, it's not even.
But
Yeah.
there's 100 of them. If there's 10, it's Messi.
Is the
every
goalie
time.
10?
No, the goalie for the kids is 10. Yes.
Oh, then Messi's
Oh, then
going to
Messi,
win,
yeah,
right?
okay, yeah.
Because none of the 10-year-olds will be able to kick the ball hard enough to get it by a pro goalie.
Yeah, that's right.
But Messi will score often on a 10-year-old.
He gotta go the
on
whole
a 10-year-old
field.
goalie. That's a great question, though. I like that.
What about, is there any sport where the 110-year-olds could win?
I'm slide tackling, if that's the correct term.
Like in baseball, the 110-year-olds
Well,
could
no, because you need 9 players in
Right.
baseball. Yeah, but that would be.
I'm taking him out.
That'd be a great pay-per-view event.
Got Aditi? All right.
We got Aditi. We should actually ask Aditi that. But before we bring in Aditi, I just want to say thank you to everyone out there who watched our post-game show on Monday night. It was late, and it was still one of the highest viewed programs we've ever done. It was the #1 viewed post-game show in the entire Cleveland market. So shout out to you guys. You're the best, and we appreciate y'all
course.
sticking up with us into the wee hours of the morning.
Mike, which question should we ask Aditi about the Messi
That
thing?
nice line.
If she thinks
that's a
100
little
kids
line
could
of
beat
bull.
Messi.
No gray. You got gray now.
Yeah, is Aditi there?
We do have Aditi.
the kids.
Aditi,
Wisdom
hi.
The kids.
Did you hear that
Hi.
question?
No, I'm confused.
All right. You know Messi, I mean, I'm not a soccer guy, but you know who Messi is, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So one team is Messi and just like a good, solid MLS goalie. Just a guy. But he's a professional.
Okay.
From the Columbus
Okay.
Crew.
From the Columbus Crew, whoever their goalie is,
Okay.
all right? The
Okay.
other team is 110-year-olds that are good at soccer, not like the greatest ever, but there's 110-year-old soccer players, all 100 good athletes for their age, good, solid soccer players. Who wins?
Well, are you playing 11 of the 100 or are all 100 on the field
All
at the
100
same
on the
time?
field at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like they'd run into each other and Messi could dribble all through them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So you're
I'm
going
putting my
Messi.
money on Messi. Yeah, I am.
Plus, could you imagine him squaring up on a 10-year-old goalie?
He might kill the kid.
That's
He might kill
Probably
someone.
kill some of the kids.
He might. If he kicked the ball as hard as he could,
Yeah.
kids would be doing backflips all
Yeah,
over the
that's
field.
true.
As imaginary as that one is.
Yeah.
Aditi, have you ever heard of somebody posting what is it?
3.5. Dan Moore's PFF passing grade
Worst ever.
was 3.5. It set the new bar.
I mean, I really can't believe that the Browns lost that game.
It's insane.
I can't
The
either.
Steelers' defense was outrageously fantastic,
Yes,
obviously, but
they
still,
were.
I mean, you can't beat a team that couldn't muster anything on offense.
They had -7 yards in the fourth quarter, and they were trailing, and they won the game.
Yeah.
But I would argue, Aditi, that the Browns, I don't think the Steelers defense, I thought the Steelers defense was good. I thought the Browns defense was way better than the Steelers defense.
I thought the Steelers defense made
Yeah,
the
but they
big
didn't
plays
score.
in the big
they
moments.
didn't score the same way that the Steelers defense did. The Steelers came up with the money plays, with the splash plays.
They did.
And that's the
100%.
difference.
I mean, so that matters more. At the end of the day, if
Agreed.
you have one play that nets, whatever, you have 2 plays that net 12 points, 2 touchdowns, right? Is that what it was? They had
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
I mean, 14
Touchdowns?
points, really.
Right. Like, who cares if you're defensively winning the rest of the game? You got to score.
No, but to your point, it's like the Browns were able to run the ball with no problem. Their defense played great. I mean, we gave this stat before. The Steelers never took a snap inside the Browns 30, and they had -7 yards of offense in the fourth quarter and won that game. I mean, the odds of that have to be 1,000,000 to 1.
I mean, I don't know. That I feel like I've seen the Steelers win that way a fair amount. Wasn't I in Cleveland? So
extreme.
when Nick Chubb was hurt 2 years ago, right? I was in Cleveland, and it was like a 15-10 game, something like that. Do we remember the Steelers beat the Browns? They kind of contained Nick Chubb, and the Steelers were middling that year too. Again, it's the splash plays. It's that you can play great defense. But when your offense is struggling, as the Browns' offense kind of was, it wasn't lighting it up, then the defense needs to score too.
Yeah, I agree with you on the splash plays. I mean, I know the Browns' defense did make the interception and gave the offense the ball at the 19-yard line, and then the offense dribbled right down their chest.
Right.
They went 3 and out and missed a field goal. So they didn't take advantage of it.
I thought that was supposed to be solved. In fact, that was the text I sent to Joe Thomas, to Chris Rose, and to our producer, Jonathan Siegel. And I was like, I thought the kicker problem was solved.
And then he nails a 55-yarder that looks like it would have been good from 70.
I know. Oh, don't start me on this.
I know, it's maddening. But I think your point is the point. The Steelers' defense, maybe for the entire night, didn't play as well as the Browns' defense. But when the game was in the balance, when there was a pivotal play to be made, T.J. Watt puts on his cape. Highsmith was incredible in big moments.
Right.
And they made, this, as you call them, splash plays. That's the difference.
You know what, Jay? It's one of those things, and it's funny because Jim Schwartz talks so much about that front being disruptive and wanting to be disruptive and all of that, but you also have to have a nose for the ball. And it's funny because this is exactly my son. You're talking about Messi, so we'll talk about soccer. My son plays soccer. He's not particularly technically sound. I don't watch him kick the ball and think, oh, you've got, a great shot. But the kid just has a nose for the goal. I mean, every week he's scoring 2 or 3 goals. It just happened again. My husband texted me when I'm in, where was I? Denver. Oh, Nico had another 2 goals.
Wow.
So you watch him. He really doesn't look that great. No offense, Nico. Sorry. Thank goodness he's in school. He doesn't look like one of the better players at practice. But game time comes, and he's his team's leading scorer.
He's a gamer. I love it. Nico's going to be a star.
At the end of the day, right, that's more valuable.
I want performers in those big moments.
Well, by the way, Aditi, I quickly looked at that 15-10 game. You're right, 15-10. The Steelers had 20 plays inside the Browns' 30-yard line. 20 plays. And they had 100 yards of offense in the fourth quarter. To me, this was unlike any game I've ever seen. It was crazy.
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. I'm just remembering that sometimes it's, the defense that really carries the day.
Yes.
Because you're saying the Steelers offense did that, but they still only had 15 points. So it's not like this is one of those, Ben Roethlisberger throws for 300-yard juggernaut things that they lost. It's just...
Yeah.
It's disappointing. It's frustrating. It's funny because I was in Denver this past weekend, and this is a conversation I had with Pat Surtain, because that Denver defense has been really, really good. And Denver, since the start of last season, has lost more one-touchdown games than anybody. They can't seem to – their team has scored. The defense has held – last year, the defense held opponents to 17 or fewer points, I think 6 times, and lost. And Dick LeBeau used to say, if you hold the opponent to 17 or fewer points, you've got a 99% chance of winning.
Yeah, you
but
should
Denver
win.
was losing in that way. And so I was talking to Pat Surtain about this and how you don't just get so frustrated with the offense or how you avoid the split within the team, within the locker room. And he's like, well, at some point, we just have to score too. Winning is about all of us, and you have to pick up the slack. You have to have
the
each
Pittsburgh
other's backs
defense
in some
did.
way.
They added 2 touchdowns, and that was the difference.
And in that game you were doing, I was watching a lot of that game. You did a great job. And Denver did score points, but they choked. I mean, Washington made a good comeback. Brian Robinson Jr. was fantastic in that game.
And you know what fueled that turnaround was a fumble.
Yes.
So Chase Young provided the pressure that forced a fumble on the other side. Washington recovers the fumble, and all of a sudden, Washington goes. I'll tell you, that kid, Sam Howell, is so impressive. He's very level. He's a coach's kid, but he's got a lot of, internal fire in him. He's deceivingly athletic, and there was a big, big difference on the Washington sideline from the Denver sideline.
Wow. Do you mean in quarterback
I phrased
leadership?
that very wrongly. Yes. The energy, Washington was down. Washington was down 21-3.
Not shocked.
And there were no hung heads. There was no giving up. There was full engagement. There was a lot of, fire. And then as soon as there was the first touchdown, there was fire. Ron Rivera was, in guys' faces about how proud he was. I mean, there was this one moment of Ron Rivera going to Brian Robinson and kind of holding him and just being like how proud he was of him.
Wow.
And Denver, meanwhile, when they were up, they were fine. And then as soon as Washington made a ball game of it, and there's still a whole half of football to be played, Denver just kind of deflated.
Wow. That's Sean Payton and Russ. Those are a couple of guys that won Super Bowls.
By the way, Aditi.
Exactly. You didn't see anybody walking up and down the sideline saying, keep your head in this, or we're okay, or we'll come back, or settle down. And what's different is that I talked to Sean Payton at halftime, and he actually was not alarmed or anything. He was very level. He said, it's fine. We're fine. And I was like, what? He said, look, we did so many good things in the first half. We just build off of that. Let's just keep doing what we did. It's not like we can't do it. It's not like we haven't figured it out. We did figure it out. So Sean brings that sort of, we're still in it, but nobody on that sideline really had it. And that was weird.
Weird. Tyvis played with Russell Wilson. And I don't know if you heard this. He's hiding behind his mask right now.
Oh, gosh.
He said, when you started saying what you said about Sam Howell versus Russell Wilson, he said, not surprised.
Oh.
Show yourself.
Not what I said.
What'd you say?
I said. Russell is a great guy. Russell is a really great guy, just not a great quarterback. Aditi, speaking of great quarterback.
Wow.
Coming into this week, we got Deshaun Watson.
I want to tell you about my meeting with him, and he says all of the right things, but I kind of need a translation. So maybe you and I can talk later?
Yeah,
let's talk about it. Anyways, talking about great quarterbacks. Deshaun Watson, he had the game that he had. Obviously, Nick Chubb is down. They got the Titans.
I'm gutted. Let me say that publicly again.
Wow.
I am gutted.
Aditi, the word
Tuesday sad.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I asked the guys to use one word to explain the game Monday, and my word was gutted. There's no other way to say it. I didn't even celebrate the touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown. Moments after, I couldn't even celebrate it. I was still in shock.
Yeah. I'm so. Anyway, I'll start crying if we keep going there. So he is what is good about football.
Yes.
He is what football is supposed to be. As I tweeted, if I could have a team of Chubbs, I'd be deliriously happy forever and ever. And anyway, let's just hope it's as routine repair as, routine is a funny word, but that it's not worse than that. Okay, moving on.
Quarterback play. Quarterback play against Tennessee. We got Deshaun Watson versus Ryan Tannehill in this upcoming Sunday. What quarterback play is going to be better?
Oh, God.
Well, it better be Deshaun's. I mean, now's the time, right? Deshaun told us in the preseason that this offense has been running through 24, but now it's going to start running through him. Okay, well, there's no 24. So it has to run through you now, Deshaun. And everything that we expected to see out of you in the preseason, we are waiting and ready to see. So let's go. That's it. And Tannehill was better in the second game. Week 2 was significantly better than week 1. Week 1 he kept missing guys. Week 2 he was threading the ball better, and he's got some nice receivers. I like that 1-2 punch he has at running back. But Cleveland's home, and it's time. And there better be an emotional charge from what Kevin Stefanski said, that everything we do now, we try to channel Nick. And I hope they also feel, it's funny because Odell said this to me, Odell Beckham Jr. said this week 1 in our meeting with Baltimore, and he said he's just so much more grateful after having come back from that injury. He just recognizes what an amazing opportunity it is that we get to play. What an amazing opportunity it is that we are healthy. And he keeps saying that to his teammates. Seize the moment. You're healthy. You don't know how long you will be healthy.
Yeah.
You don't know if you'll be healthy 2 minutes from now. So seize the moment when you are healthy. And the Browns need to do that.
Aditi, when Deshaun Watson played before his first game with the Browns, I don't know if you can remember before that game. Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being no doubt, 1 being a lot of doubt, what would you say was your thoughts on Deshaun not being able to or being able to get back to being great? Were you at a 10? Were you completely convinced that at some point he'd be great like he was in Houston?
Yes.
Okay.
You mean this summer? This summer you're asking me?
No,
or when
last
he was
year,
signed?
before he played his first game last year.
Oh. No, I was not at a 10. Before I ever saw him play last year, no.
Okay. So where were you before you ever saw him play last year?
I was optimistic.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't think that maybe like an 8.
Okay, but you were a 10 at the beginning of this
7 or
season?
8. Yes.
Okay. After 2 games, he's continued to play poorly. But it's 2 games, but it's 8 games since last year that he has not played any good games. Where are you right now? Are you starting to lose faith in his ability to turn around?
No.
Are you still at a 10?
Not yet.
Still at a 10?
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
Good.
It's so early. It's so early. And it's funny, we were meeting yesterday, and Adam Archuleta, my analyst, was saying that Deshaun actually had tons of success in Houston when his line was kind of shoddy and he didn't have a great running back.
Right, we talked about that. Yeah.
He actually operated really well. Now, this line is very good, and the Browns still clearly think that they can run the ball. They don't have Nick Chubb, but they still think they can run the ball and they can support these three
Aditi,
backs
I got to
to do
disagree
so
with
in
you
the
a little
best
bit.
way.
I got to disagree with you a little bit because I don't agree. I don't think we could blanketly say their line's good. Their tackles are not good right now.
I will say, I mean, I thought DeJuan Jones, so last week I got in trouble because on Pittsburgh radio I was asked, will TJ Watt have a field day with DeJuan Jones?
I know, we heard, we played the clip.
Oh, of me on the radio saying no?
We couldn't hear you, Aditi, because Mike was talking to us.
Oh, okay. I think he's probably trying to clear me because you have another guest coming. But You played the clip of me on the radio?
No, we didn't play the clip. You told us about it.
Oh, right.
Oh,
yes.
okay. I thought we played the clip.
Okay, yes. So I said that because I really thought that DeJuan Jones would be okay, would be, ready for that moment. But again, it's the kid's a rookie. It's the first time he's ever played on Monday night.
Agreed.
It's the first time he's played in prime time. It's the first time he's
Jed
faced
Will
the
stinks.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Jed Will stinks. Jed Will stinks. He can't play.
You said that.
Okay.
Maybe there's a more diplomatic way for me to go about saying that.
Hey, we have 10 seconds, Aditi. We literally have 10 seconds. Kareem Hunt back to the Browns. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
We have to see about his attitude.
Interesting.
Let's see.
Thumbs sideways.
Right?
That's it. No, that's a diplomatic answer from someone who is considered a team reporter. So she's heard things. Aditi, thank you. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
I'm sorry we had to rush. I love that. I had a lot more for
I thought
Aditi.
it was her that we had.
No, we're bringing on our OSU
We have
Notre
our
Dame.
Ohio State guest, and tonight, or not tonight, this weekend's Ohio State Notre Dame game is on WKYC. There's a post-game show with Ted Ginn Jr. and Nick Camino, so make sure you guys check that out on WKYC Saturday night. And joining us now is Andrew Zolden of the Drive the Lane podcast, one of Ohio State's premier athletic podcasts, who has had some major guests throughout the years, including the guy sitting in the middle of our panel today, Tyvis Powell. What's up, Andrew?
What's up, guys? I'm hoping this is really, really good for you to bump off Aditi for me, so apologies in advance if it's not up to those standards.
Yeah, if you suck, man, we're going to be ripping you. That's pretty simple.
Andrew, you're not going to suck. We know. Listen, we know who this guy is. Andrew's a professional. Give us the treetops of this Notre Dame-Ohio State game. I'm a lifelong Buckeye fan. I've got concerns for sure, but I feel the Buckeyes are going to win. Am I wrong?
I don't know if you're wrong. I feel like they're going to win because I run probably the most biased Ohio State podcast in the world, and I don't know if I've ever said they weren't going to win. However, this is the first time I can remember in a long time where I confidently do not think the Buckeyes have the better quarterback in the matchup. I think that Sam Hartman is incredible, and I think there's a good chance that the Ohio State staff is like, hey, why don't we look at doing a one-year option with a portal quarterback in the future. So I think it's going to come down to a battle of the quarterbacks. Ohio State's always prided themselves on developing players and having it be their guys, but if Hartman's the far superior quarterback in the matchup, I think it says not just a lot about, the Notre Dame team, but the state of college football as a whole. However, the one thing I think about this game is, and I'm sure Tyvis has alluded to it, you can still win the Big Ten and make it to the college playoff with a loss. So there's probably some world where a loss could potentially be a good thing. But obviously you never want to lose a game. But Tyvis, think back to, Virginia Tech. That game didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things.
But it wasn't a good thing, though.
No, it wasn't a good thing, but it happened early enough where the Buckeyes were able to dig out of that hole. You don't want to lose late.
I mean, you got to listen. The Ohio State will have a chance to pile up some quality wins over Rutgers, Indiana, and Akron. So those games are meaningful.
Akron's not on the schedule.
By the way, is there anything dumber than college football polls before the second to last week of the season? Anything?
Nothing dumber. From college football polls, except I'm a believer that the college football polls do whatever they can to make the matchups as close as possible, whether it's a top 10 matchup, a top 5 matchup. I'm surprised that the polls didn't find a way to make this Notre Dame team in the top 5, at least going into this game. Normally they do that. I'm sure they'll say, if Ohio State wins this game and then Notre Dame loses another game, all of a sudden this will be a non-meaningful win for Ohio State. We see stuff like that happen every year. But I'm a little surprised that they didn't make these teams at least a little closer in the rankings for this matchup.
Andrew, in the past, for the past couple of years, where really since Ryan Day has taken over, this passing attack has went completely bonkers. I mean, you got quarterback and wide receivers going first round. But the running game hasn't been up to par in those few years. What have you seen out of the running game this year? Because I think I've seen something that Notre Dame struggles with the run.
Yeah, so going into the year, I said take the under on every TreVeyon Henderson bet. 1, he's been injured. 2, they have like 7 running backs that they rotate in and out. And after week 1, we said on the podcast, if you have 5 running backs, you don't have 1. You got to establish by the Notre Dame game who your guy is. And I do think finally it looks like, we're getting old TreVeyon Henderson back. He looks good, I think 90 or 100 yards and 2 touchdowns last week. If they can establish that early, as you know better than anyone, that's just going to make it so much easier to get the ball to Harrison, get the ball to Ibuka, open things up for McCord. So, yes, maybe Notre Dame struggles with the run game, but if Ohio State's getting cute early on and giving multiple guys carries and not really establishing one guy or finding the one guy that's going to, break through the defense in this game, you don't want to be, in the second, third quarter still figuring out which guys you want the ball in the hands of. And you may feel differently than me about that, but I'm happy that at this point in the season, heading into week 4, that, Ohio State seems to have their offense established. How mad are you if you're Marcus Freeman and last year you played Stroud week 1 and this year you had to wait until week 4 to play a team that had, a quarterback competition? They were probably so upset watching that week 1 game against Indiana thinking this is the week 1 team we could have had this year. Last year we had to play
no kidding.
At Ohio State week 1, CJ Stroud, who has more 300-yard games than Fields and in 2 NFL games already. So if you're Marcus Freeman, you're like, hey, this is the best opportunity we're ever going to get to beat Ohio State, but I kind of wish we were playing them week 1.
Well, what about on the defensive side of the ball? Is there any concerns there?
So I texted you not to ask me about the defense, so I know you're doing that.
That's why I did that.
Good job,
exactly why I did it.
They have not let up many points this season, which they haven't played necessarily teams that you'd expect to put up a lot of points. But everything I saw and everything I read was Western Kentucky is going to give Ohio State a game. They're going to score. They're going to get up and down the field. They have, I think, their quarterback last year led college football in yards.
Yes.
And, best receiver is going to be an NFL player down the road. So it's good to see that they shut down that offense. But this is a different level. It's Notre Dame. It's at Notre Dame. It's Sam Hartman. You're potentially, with Kyle McCord, he's turned the ball over more than you would like. If you're giving, the defense bad positions, you're giving them the ball on the wrong side of the 50. You're, getting back on the field quickly. Tyvis, the defense can get tired, and you could have a long drive that results in, 3 points, or it results in a turnover late in the drive, but you still don't want to get back on the field quickly. I think sometimes with Marvin Harrison, you have a long defensive drive that results in a stop or 3 points, and then all of a sudden it's 2 plays and Marvin Harrison is in the end zone and the defense is running back out there. I wonder to you, are you more pumped up when something like that happens? Like, hey, we get to go back on the field, we just scored a touchdown, or are you like, come on, we just 1 minute of rest? Come on, what are we doing, Marvin Harrison?
Now you're
not complaining about a touchdown.
I'm about to say I'm gonna be more pumped up. Who's your X factor for this game offensively for the Buckeyes?
Ooh, I'm going to give you a good answer, and I'm going to give you an obvious answer. The good answer is offensively, it's Sam Hartman, even though he's not a Buckeye, because we'll see if he's the best player in the game. But it's got to be Kyle McCord. If this is the game that he proves I'm here, this is the lowest my Heisman odds are ever going to be, because now I'm going to be 4-0 after a win over Notre Dame, and maybe throw $5 on me to win the Heisman. But there's just no way that that's not going to be the difference maker. I can't see this being a game where, Ohio State all of a sudden, Travion Henderson's having a 200-yard game, or all of a sudden, they're doing these slant passes and they're beating the defense. Like, it's going to fall on the quarterback. And, this is going to answer a lot of questions and shut up a lot of fans. I saw Joel Klatt said, hey, the Ohio State fans and the Ohio State media, which is all of us, treat it like they have to win every game. If they lose, they get killed. If they play close to bad teams, they get killed. So even last year after the Notre Dame game, they won. It was the season opener, and everyone was like, why didn't they score more points? JSN got hurt. The season's over. It's just I'm kind of similar to the Browns if you think about it. Watson, one bad game, and we're all ready to throw the team away, me included. But, like, this is just the game where Kyle McCord can say, everybody shut up.
Yeah, it's fair. Deshaun Watson has played 8 bad games for the Browns.
Come on, Andrew, you're being too nice, bro.
Andrew, let me tell you something. I'm sick of hearing for the guys who complain about Ohio State fans being too tough. It's college football. 3/4 of the season are meaningless games with meaningless opponents for Ohio State. So those wins don't mean anything. I don't care what they do against Western Utah State, okay? There's 3 games that matter, and one of them is Michigan, and Ryan Day can't win that game. If you were the athletic director at Ohio State, and they're going to need a new one, so here's your chance to audition for the job. If you were the athletic director for Ohio State and they lose again to Michigan and don't survive that and win a championship, lose to Michigan and either don't make the playoffs or lose in the first round, are you firing Ryan Day? Yes or no?
This is what I'm doing if I'm the AD, and this is a great question because I have a great answer for it. I am praying that the Tennessee Titans have the worst season they've ever had. Yeah. And I'm praying that Ryan Day looks amazing besides the Michigan game. He accepts an NFL offer as either a coordinator or a head coach, and then you slide Vrabel in. It's a nice, peaceful.
Andrew, did you just admit are you saying you're gutless? You don't have the guts to make that call? Let's go!
You can't get the job, Andrew!
I'm saying I am still trying to get Ryan Day to come on my podcast, And just like I will never utter a bad thing about Coach Holtman because he keeps coming on our show, I'll never say a bad thing about Ryan Day until he comes on the show. Then we can say whatever we want.
All right, very good.
Makes sense.
There you go.
Andrew,
Smart man.
you can come back. You were fine.
Prediction. What's the prediction?
Ooh. Ohio State wins by a field goal. It's a close game.
Sheesh.
All right, I'll take
Don't
it.
cover.
That's not a
They
cover.
win, but
I don't
don't
care.
cover.
Who cares about a cover? I'll take it.
Don't
Slack
cover.
it.
No, I'm with
56-0.
you. The cover matters. They don't cover.
Don't
All
cover.
right, very good.
Wow.
Andrew,
All right,
thanks a lot, man. Catch him on his podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Drive
Very,
the Lane
very good.
podcast. It is
Drive
him
the Lane.
and Joey Lane who played basketball at Ohio State. So if you didn't get enough bias from Andrew, you'll get even more bias from the Buckeye himself. It's a great podcast. We appreciate Andrew from coming on. Overtime's coming up. I got to steal Tyvis to tape something for Friday. So Bull and Jay are holding down the fort while Earl produces OT. So if you hate me,
Slacker.
which I know a lot of you guys do, that means Earl's in my seat. Stick around for overtime.
No one hates you,
Peace.
Mike. They may dislike you. They don't hate you. Hate's a strong.